It's the season finale of the Area Cup Series in the coastal metropolis of Miami, Florida. A championship-deciding four-way fight in a 140-lap race. All season long, some drivers have outlasted all the others across short tracks, super speedways, road courses, and more. But the final race of the season lands at the 1.5-mile Homestead Miami Speedway. The remainder of the field will be in attendance. The quartet of contenders have just one goal: beat the other three, and that's all they have to do. But in the past, it's meant they have to win. Welcome back to Sim TV for the season finale of the Area Cup Series. I'm Kyle Heyer, joined by Finian DeCuna, Hunter Sleppy, and Eric Wineland. Finian, season finale time, and it means Homestead Miami, the multi-groove oval that has been a blast for the last decade or more in NASCAR Cup Series competition. Tonight, we do battle one final time.
I was going to say, this has always felt like the true finale track for me. I mean, growing up in this period of NASCAR, I grew up in a time where Homestead was always a finale, so it was weird when they moved it to Phoenix, but it's kind of really feels fitting for these cars, for these drivers to come here. It's a fantastic track to come to. Some great racing, like you mentioned, the progressive banking around here should lead to some fantastic multi-groove action for our four drivers, our championship four to duel it out. I wouldn't pick a better track.
This is the perfect racetrack, perfect location place too over here in Florida. Population of about 60,000, close to the Everglades. Nice, very almost perfect location for a track and a perfect racetrack in itself. Arguably one of the best mile and a halves on the current NASCAR schedule. And tonight we crown a champion. And like I said, this is the true championship track, Eric.
I was muted. Absolutely, Hunter. This Homestead just feels like the right track to crown a champion, does it not? I mean, they've raced here as the final race of the season for so many years until they decided to make the change to Phoenix. Over on the real life side of things, and area tends to try to venture around with their championship race. We've been to Homestead, we've been to Phoenix, we've been to Nashville even as well as last season. So I'm looking forward to our third trip to Homestead here in the Area Cup Series. See what these guys can do. I would love to see Kyle, the Highline, be a little more useful, but I guess with the current track model and tire model, doesn't quite prove to be the dominant lane. It's going to be a bottom feeding track tonight.
It certainly could be. Our championship four start with the number 7 of James Scioli. Then it's the 73, the reigning champion, Jake Nichols. Then it's JT Poole, who qualified in just by the skin of his teeth last week at Richmond. And then it's Seth Knoll in the number 11, who is probably the dark horse. But I don't think it's fair to say that, Finian, based on his performances in the last 5 or 6 weeks. He has just been absolutely on it, has won a handful of races. He's slowest so far in practice, but his race pace and his qualifying pace have been there. He's absolutely a championship contender, but I think the favorites statistically might be the 7 of James Scioli and the 73 of Jake Nichols.
I mean, it's very fitting also, too. They've been the Titans really this season. You know, of course, last season for the 73, significantly more dominant and a lot more in his favor. But this season, he's had to fight toe-to-toe, and he's actually been on the back foot for most of the season on the number 7 of Scioli. Very fitting, though, that both of them top of the standings in practice here with just a couple seconds remaining, and separated by only 0.005 of a second. Of course, it's only practice. We got qualifying coming up, and we'll really see what the difference will be between those two and see if both JT Poole and Seth Knoll can join them at the top of the scoring pylon.
Just like the cup race yesterday, practice don't mean a thing. Doesn't matter if you're the fastest, you have to be the strongest, and that's what we're going to see tonight. You can lead the most laps here, but it always doesn't guarantee you the championship in the end.
So changing over from practice here into qualifying, which is a pretty critical phase for the championship four. The scenario tonight, just beat the other 3 championship contenders. That is all you need to do if you're in the championship four. You don't need to win the race, but we've seen in the past that almost ends up being a necessity based on the others running in the field. Race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. For only $5 a month, you can watch all Area broadcasts commercial free. You can also use new Area iRacing emotes in the chat and earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem for free merchandise at twitch.tv/Area iRacing. And qualifying getting underway here, Finian. I think the pressure is on, and it starts now for the playoff contenders, of which there are just 4. For everybody else, this is a fun race tonight. This is a fun race track to race on. You can pass, you can try different lanes. It progresses well throughout the night, and we're going to be in one of those day-to-night transitions, so the track will grip up as we go. So while the final 4 competitors will be playing pretty hard, everyone else will probably be having a better time without quite so much pressure.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, obviously, of course, a lot of them would have liked to have had the pressure because it would have been that fighting for a championship. But there is some, chance you kind of lay back, have just, focus on trying to get a win, you get a solid end of the season, then hope for better luck next season when you can finally resume your championship hope as we have qualifying underway. Tyler Nichols out there on the track at the moment. Low trickle of drivers onto the track. Only Garrett Grant, Tyler Nichols, Jeremy Miller out making runs right now.
That in car you see right there is JT Poole, probably the underdog for the championship contender. I know some might think that Seth Knoll is the underdog compared to James Skyley and Jake Nichols, but JT got here on consistency alone, and that goes a long way because this is somewhat similar to a Ryan Newman-esque run. He's yet to win this season. He's been close, but he's had the consistent finishes to get him to Homestead, and in the end, Ryan Newman was obviously one spot short of that coveted 2014 title, lost it to Kevin Harvick, but today could be a different day here for JT Poole as we see brother of Jake Nichols, Tyler Nichols, on the track.
Might be trying to do a little recon, let his brother know what's going on. These are Solar Flare Racing teammates, and these guys are in a hellacious team championship battle, Kyle. I believe Solar Flare, what were they, 25 points out for the team championship, which will be decided tonight as well, behind Lucky Duck Motorsports, led by James Scioli.
Yeah, so good team battle still underway there. I was just pointing out during that qualifying session how relaxed JT was, kicking around a football. I'm not sure how much pressure he feels because I don't think he really thought he would be here, Finian. So I think JT is in a pretty good headspace, just kind of waiting out the end of qualifying here to go out pretty late as the sun gets lower in the sky. But I think for Scioli and Nichols, they've got a bit more to lose. They were here all season. And Seth Knoll, I don't think he could probably put out of his mind the fact that he should be a championship contender tonight, even though maybe early in the season he didn't think he would be.
Yeah, and he, looking at his stats, like you mentioned, I'm sure he surprised himself. He's become significantly more of a threat in the playoff season, very similar to Tony Stewart when he won his last championship. So I'm sure that he's going to hope it ends like Tony Stewart ends up with a championship to his name. Looking pretty quick at the moment. Still have to jump out in qualifying. We only have Delonte Ballard and Cameron Hurt out on the track. I'm really surprised everyone's waiting. And I imagine they're waiting because they're just hoping the sun sets a little bit more. Track just gets that much cooler. And you might be thinking at home, that probably doesn't make much of a difference. But when you're fighting for thousandths and hundredths of a second, it will make a big difference.
Yeah, the cooler the track temp, the more grip that you have underneath these next-gen cars. And looking through as Cameron Hearn comes off turn 4, look at the cross the start-finish line there, 32.9. That's going to be good enough for the top time at the moment. Looking through at it, right here, Seth Knoll, he's got 2 wins this season on mile-and-a-half tracks. Got to keep an eye out for that as he could be a serious contender tonight, no matter if it's during the day or during the night. I hear Kyle's cat in the background. Shout out Kyle's cat.
Thankfully not coming through on OBS, but the guys on Discord can hear it. But I just got home from Lime Rock Park with Grid Life Circuit Legends. Had a really successful event, but the cat didn't get a whole lot of time to see me again before I jump right back into work. That's just how it is some days. So you just got to jump right back up on the horse. But here comes Ryan Hartz in the number 3, not a playoff competitor. And maybe he should have been, Finian, in some ways. I think there's maybe some frustration with a handful of drivers that had shots. I'm sure Connor Horn coming into the night probably ran well enough to be in the championship 4, especially pretty late in the season, was putting up good results, got in a tangle at Las Vegas. That put him out of the conversation for the title. But we haven't yet seen anybody from the playoffs make a run yet. They're all going to wait to the very last couple minutes here of this qualifying session as Hartz gets right up on that outside wall where all the momentum is.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never seen so few drivers jump out on the track in qualifying. We're already halfway through, and you can only see that only 4 drivers have set a time down. A couple more jumping out on the track now, including Ryan Hartz, Dom DeLeo, Michael Curran, Travis Beckner, and Dante Ballard all making runs. Actually, Dante Ballard, he tried to make a run. I think he hit the wall, so he's going to be starting from the back as Ryan Hartz comes flying across the line. All this time being not that quick, slowest of the qualifiers at the moment in 5th place. Going to be disappointed with that. Travis Beckner and Michael Curran both on flying laps. Travis Beckner coming out of turn 2.
This man was a contender this season. Unfortunately, some issues at Richmond. Hunter knocked his chances right off the green flag.
Yeah, the classic commentator's curse says 5 seconds before Kyle goes, you know what, my pick's Travis Beckner.
Well,
He's having a moment here.
well, glad I didn't pick him this week either yet. 33.546 will put him last of the qualifiers.
All because of that huge slide in turn 4. And he was obviously upset. Here we go, boys.
Time to go. And look, JT Poole's on track. James Scioli's on track. So 3 of the 4 playoff competitors are on course, and Seth Knoll, the only one still sitting trackside.
Go
ahead.
The track temperature has not changed since the start of qualifying, but the wind has died out, down about 3 to 4 mile an hour from when the session opened about 7 minutes ago. So obviously they didn't get the temperature game to play, but hopefully the conditions should be a little bit better for some very fast runs right here.
Comes JT Poole out of turn 4. This will be his qualifying lap. Let's see what he puts up. It is a 33.171 as Scioli goes to the top of the board with a 32.955. And here comes Jake Nichols across the stripe at a 32.951 and goes to pole by just 0.03 of a second over Scioli.
And again, like, remember what I said in practice, these two were separated by a couple thousandths of a second, and guess what, in qualifying, same thing.
That's going to be tough to beat if anyone else wants to have a chance at it. I know we got 4 drivers going at it for the championship, but the other competitors, they're all going for the win. So you're going to want to try and dethrone some of the championship guys respectfully without alternating the finish to this race, regardless of the 4. And speaking of the 4, here's the last of the 4 championship contenders to go out. Put a time down. Seth Knoll's got 2 minutes left.
So Nichols and
Plenty of time to
Scioli
make this run.
go to the top. Poole 11th only. Seth Knoll starts his lap. Finian, do you think he's going to land up near Scioli or Nichols? We're going to have 2 groups of 2 split the difference with some non-playoff competitors.
I don't know. I mean, he has a chance of getting up there. He's qualified on pole 2 out of the last 4 races, so he's been fairly quick as of late. If you can channel that energy here, match the car number on the door, might be able to end up P1. We'll see. It looks good so far. No mistakes. Keeping it nice and low in 3 and 4. He's one of the last few guys to qualify. We'll see. Can he get up there? Can he break up the party with the 73 and the 7?
Oh,
No.
Quite. 9th.
Kyle's prediction comes true.
Sometimes. Here's Rafe Slate in the number 8. Connor Horn's also on track, and the 42's one I think we should keep an eye on because, I think he's out here. Maybe had an expectation of being able to run Championship 4 and could stink up the party for those that are in the playoffs, and that's something to consider as well. The aggression level by those that have not as much to lose. That could be a factor. Newbegin goes 4th quick, by the way. Connor Horn, 33.133, goes 11th.
Big lap from Douglas Newbigging there. Hey, I have a question for you, gentlemen. Have we checked in on Michael Curhan and his broadcaster standings?
I haven't checked into the standings because I can't read numbers files and refuse to find a way to do it. For those of you with an iPhone, go for it.
Okay. Okay, I was not the only one that had that problem with my Android phone. Thank you.
Just saying. He does have a nice message for us, though. Says, thank you to Jacob Bell, SimTV, our league sponsors, admins, and everyone else for another incredible season in area. Good luck to the Championship 4.
And the thumbs up.
And the thumbs up. Appreciate it, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
And appreciate the thanks as well. And just gave the salute just as I had pulled the camera off. But qualifying's complete.
Doesn't get a lap.
And a handful of drivers, about a half dozen, do not get that lap. So that is an interesting situation. Well, Homestead Miami Speedway, boys, it is the season finale for the Area Cup Series. 140 laps in just a couple of minutes' time to settle the Cup Series championship fight. And 2 of the 4 will start on the front row. Big day for those 4. And all week we've got championship fights to contend with, both in the Truck Series, the Area Florida State Builders Pro Series, and here tonight with the Cup Series. Race fans, start your engines with a fresh cup of Roasted Gems coffee. Choose from some of the finest coffee beans from Colombia and Peru, or try the blended flavors of French vanilla and hazelnut. Use discount code AREAIRACING for 10% off your order at checkout at roastedgems.com. Well, it's about time to head down to the racetrack and get things started. We have a field of 29 for the season finale here in Homestead Miami Speedway. Let's roll through our starting lineup and kick things off with the Roasted Gems Coffee starting grid. It's Jake Nichols and James Scioli, two of the championship favorites, starting on that front row in their Chevrolet Camaros, Finian.
Yeah, moving on in behind, Cameron Hearn's going to be rolling off in third in the number 4 machine next to Douglas Newbegin in the 71, rolling off in fourth.
And it's Michael Curhan in the 24 that will start in fifth in his number 24 Ford Mustang. Jeremy Miller starts sixth in the number 30 Chevrolet.
Greg Mitchell is going to be rolling off in the number 2 in 7th place. Next to him, Jordan Martin in the 11, rolling off in 8th.
And in 9th place, it's Garrett Grant in the number 5. Seth Knoll, playoff contender, maybe a dark horse, starts 10th in the number 1.
Connor Owens is going to be rolling off on the 42 in 11th place. Next to him, Tyler Nichols in the 41 in 12th place.
In 13th, it's Connor Okrezik in the number 14 car. Ryan Hartz starts 14th in the number 3.
Moving on back to 15, you find GT Poole in the 26th, the last of the championship 4. He's got a long way to work up to the front. Bryce Edizek rolling off next to him in the 09, rolling off in 16th.
In 17th place, it's Michael Sturgill in car number 17. Cedric Hunter rolls off 18th in the 07 Mustang.
Back in 9th, he's going to be Ben Pierce in the 65. Next to him, Rafe Slight in the number 8 in 20th.
In 21st place, it's Dom DeLeo in the number 22 Mustang. Travis Beckner, maybe what coulda, should've, would've, starts 22nd in the number 28.
In behind him, it's going to be David Weishart in the 33, rolling off in 23rd. Next to him, Delonte Ballard in the 21 car in 24th.
Skylar Shackelford rolls off 25th in the number 88. Jacob Bell in the Florida State Builders number 77 starts 26th.
Back to 27 is going to be Ed Robertson in the 64. Frankie Barroso in the number 12 car in 28th. And rounding out your field of 29 cars is going to be Dwayne Culberson in the 81 car.
That is your field. Slow to grid for a handful of the drivers, especially those up towards the front. No Jake, no James just yet. Hunter Sleppy, it's pick me a race winner and pick me a championship winner. And are they the same or are they different tonight?
You know what? That's true, because to win the championship, you don't always have to win the race. But in the past, we've seen the race winner be the champion, or the champion be the race winner in that case. So my heart tells me JT Poole for the championship, but my gut, you got to go with your gut. My gut's telling me for the race and the championship, it's the 73 of Jake Nichols that'll get the job done.
All right, Finian, pick me a winner, pick me a champ.
I'm going to go with Seth Knoll. I think he's been on such a hot streak recently. I think I'm going to have to go with him. I mean, he's starting in from 10th, but he's shown some fast, crazy speed these last couple of weeks. So I think he's going to win not only just the race, but the championship as well.
And Eric Wineland, who you got?
Well, Kyle, stats tell you it's Jake Nichols. He's undefeated in season championship races, 2 for 2. But there's something you can't account for in statistics. That gut feeling, like Hunter said, three-peat don't happen. James Scioli wins tonight. He is your champion here in the Area Cup Series by the end of this race.
All right, I'm going to roll with Seth Knoll in the number 1. I think he's going to surprise us again with his race pace. I think he goes up there and steals one from the incumbents, and I think he's going to win the race as well. Push come to shove, Seth Knoll has been there this season. That's who wins the season finale. It might be a risky one in my points, according to Michael Curhan, but we're going to give it a go. It's the season finale. It's 140 laps here at Homestead Miami Speedway. We'll keep you abreast of all the strategies, situations, and drama tonight. The championship finale comes down to this. Homestead Miami, the coastal metropolis, hosts the last race of the season, and we're green at Homestead Miami Speedway. Into turn 1, Scioli, Nichols side by side. Lap 1 complete. Nichols leads the lap, but Cameron Hearn's here to play on the inside, dives for the top spot. He has it. Here comes Scioli back to the quarter panel, Finian.
Yeah, we saw in turn 1 that looks like 73 might have thrown it a little bit too far in, and Scully actually had to check up, move to the right-hand side a little bit, build his momentum in the corner. Cameron Hearn to get second. Now Hearn in the number 4 up to first as we enter into complete lap number 2.
All right, look at the 26 of JT Poole.
Oh, trouble! The 3 cars sideways. Can he save it? He does.
Oh,
well
yeah.
done.
Oh, phenomenal save there. Right behind the Championship 4 driver, JT Poole. I was going to say he had a moment there coming off 2 and had a moment right behind him, but back up front, 3 wide. Not Kyle Heyer, that's you. Connor Horn was all the way up on the outside of Jordan Martin. Now
Oh, wrecking the back straightaway. Caution out.
David Weishart. Trouble for the 33. Everyone else keeps rolling. Well, that was a frantic start, guys. Almost an issue on the front straight. We got back around to the back straightaway, and then we had Weishart go for a loop. Here is Weishart's situation. Was on the inside of Dom DeLeo, and here's what happened. The 21 to the outside. Oh, he just gets loose.
Yeah, and very similar to what we saw with Ryan Hart's coming off of 4. Those drivers on the inside lane coming up the corner look to be pretty loose, and this is surprising because we're only a couple laps into the run.
And then I think it was Ben Pierce, that got the piece of the damage as the 33 slid back across the track.
Man, poor Ben Pierce, just nowhere for him to go. And was listening from Weishart earlier on, but he was practicing actually for the trucks tomorrow night because he's got a Championship 4 driver for that, and he was complaining about the handling of the truck.
Here's what happened to the 3 and the 09. They just get tangled together, and Reinhardt did a heck of a job keeping the car under control, and already early pit stops. That is a surprise to me.
Well, it's only a couple drivers, not most of the field. I'd say maybe about a third of the field coming on down, but some front runners, notably Cameron Hearn, going to be coming on down a pit lane. I'm a bit surprised by this. I'm guessing guys maybe trying to get some extra fuel, because can't imagine you're getting tires at this point.
It looks like the one of Seth Knoll did that as well, along with Hearn, Beckner, DeLeo, from what I'm seeing, and Pierce, Weishart, Frankie Barroso, Dwayne Culberson, all taking tires.
Yeah, just a quick gas up and go. And for Seth Knoll, I guess why not, right? You're not running up front yet. Might as well get your leg up early. But for the front two, it's Nichols and Scioli. And Scioli fell back for a lap or two and then started accelerating back towards the 73. And Connor Horn was also on a mission early in this race, from 11th to 6th in the first 3 laps.
We also got Eric Wineland back in the booth with us. Eric, what do you got from pit road?
So the fuel window, I don't know if we talked about this tonight, guys. Thanks to my boys at Solar Flare Racing for giving me some of this pre-race info. 60 to 65 laps is what it's expected on fuel. 65 is a very conservative number if you're saving your fuel. So not quite putting ourselves into a window, but with a couple yellows, Kyle, they may be able to squeeze their way. So the early takers, I don't think it's a bad strategy. The only thing I don't like is just giving up the track position in someone like Cameron Hearn's case.
Yeah, track position play for sure, but I wouldn't be worried about it from this is going to affect my ending result situation, but certainly I'd consider it a risk, because as we just saw with Ben Pierce, you can get caught up in someone else's issue. There's nothing Ben could have done to miss that, really. So that'd be what I would be concerned about if I'm Seth Knoll, that I put myself behind now 18 other competitors that can make a mistake and render my championship over before it even starts.
Yeah, I'm guessing he feels that, he was already sitting in 10th, so what's a couple more spots that he could realistically make up more? But I mean, that's I'm sure the same kind of thinking that Travis Beckner and Reinhardt thought last week, and they both ended up missing the playoffs after getting caught up in wrecks in the middle of the field, either to their own or not to their own doing.
Well, Doug Newbigging running the apron. Is he coming to pit road? He went through
Same guess.
He went through the yellow line. I didn't know if that was a penalty or not.
So I guess with the fuel window, Eric, as close as it is, I guess the expectation would be every moment you can, you'd be saving fuel, right? You'd be on the apron, you'd be shutting the car off, you'd be putting the clutch in.
I don't know if you're going to drive down to the apron. I mean, obviously some guys want to do that. There's that Newbigging that's doing that now, but depends on the type of driver you are. I love the immersion feel when I sim race. So I've got my stream deck over here that I use not only for the broadcasting side of things, but also as my button box. So when I'm sitting there pacing, in official races, I'll shut the car off. I'll save a little bit of fuel where it might be advantageous to do so. And plus, if you keep more weight in the rear, theoretically, the diffuser should be lower to the ground. So more downforce. And obviously these guys are going to need that to be able to corner as well as they can, Kyle. So not a bad strategy here, but still, I think it's a two-stop race. Just a matter of when these guys decide to hold on those good years.
Coming back to the restart this time, working lap number 7 of a 140. And Jacob Bell start and parked. Again, I think he's got hardware preventing him from running the full distance.
Oh, that's 100% the issue.
Yep, he will leave us with 28 drivers now for the remainder of this race. And Jake Nichols on the inside is the control car here for the restart. Green flag back in the air in the restart zone, and we're underway. Nichols moves to the right, takes the high line. Look at Newbegin, sees open door to the inside. And just behind, Jeremy Miller in that number 30. Look at him power around the 71.
Yeah, pushing down the 71, trying to get that run off the corner, and actually Newbegin was getting a little twitchy there. He's bouncing off the white line and the apex of 1 and 2. A little bit further back, still some side-by-side action. As we come across for the restart, Seth Knoll trying to make up some ground, already up to 16th in his quest forward.
They were working their way off turn 4 of the St. Culberson, was trying to make up a good bit of ground, 3 wide in the back there with himself and Ben Pierce, and right in the middle of that is Cameron Hearn. Came down pit road recently.
Whoa.
Oh, big moment for Ballard in the middle of 1 and 2.
Yeah, big lift for Ballard, and it kind of threw everybody off around him. Knoll
Ben Pierce
drives on by, and Ben Pierce down on the apron there for just a moment. Now we get cycled back out, and a lot of 3 wide here in the early moments. We're going to see multiple grooves be a factor in this race, but for the lead, here comes James Scioli. He knows how to fight for a title. Here he comes to the inside, and he'll take the lead away. Nichols will fight this fight later.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm really curious to see how much these guys are willing to fight each other early on, because this is a marathon, not a sprint. We're only on lap 10 of 140, so how much are you willing to fight this early on? Because, again, you still got many pit stops left in this race, and at some point you're going to come back to the guy in front, especially considering how strong these two guys are. So not surprised to see Nichols let the 7 go for now.
Whoa, Michael Curran, big moment in turn 3. He just drove all the way up the track. Might lose a spot here to, well, no, he'll settle in between Mitchell and Michael Sergio, but he drove up the track in turn 3 and 4, and it looked like he was headed towards the wall.
Now here's something that a new tool in the toolkit that we haven't really had here before at Homestead. The gearbox. You can downshift to help the car rotate. In the past, your rotation was all done with your feet. And when you went up to that high line, you could often get a tight condition that would lead you up into the outside wall. But Finian, now you've got that gearbox. You go down a gear, you're going to get extra rotation. You can get pretty aggressive with the lines you run up the hill, downshift, then turn the car hard to move back down the racetrack. It seems like it's working pretty well. I've listened and heard some drivers doing it already. That gearbox now with the shorter gears gives you an opportunity to shift that balance.
As we look at Seth Knoll go 3 wide with Cedric Hunter and Ray Slate winning on that, but Seth Knoll going to immediately jump to the inside of the 8. Who has to check up, almost hits the white line, almost goes up into the 8 of Ray Slate. But actually, I know, like you mentioned, that shifter really helps out quite a bit to get that car to just pivot a little bit better in the corners, and again, like you mentioned, another tool in the toolbox to use. And some use it, some may use it, some may not, but that option is available to you as Knoll's still fighting this tough battle for 12th place.
On the inside of the 8 is Slade, are looking to go up 7 spots since the restart of the race. He's got Cedric Hunter pushing him into turn 3. As Scioli continues to lead, and I don't think we've talked about this yet, but Scioli could win the championship for all 3 series. Oh,
sorry, Hunter. The 07 of Cedric Hunter had a big moment, Finian.
Yeah, had a bump to the back from Cameron Hearn that set his car a little bit loose in the middle of 3 and 4. So he's going to recover, lose a couple spots, but we'll keep going.
Eric Wineland?
You guys talked about shifting. Jake Nichols picked up on that right away. This was way earlier in the race, about lap 3, when he let Jake go for the lead, or when he let Cameron go for the lead.
Cameron shifting, I'm just letting him go.
So Jake was hearing that out of the 4 car, so some guys already utilizing that. And also some interesting developments here listening to Miller Racing.
Besides the fact that I'm going to try and do a one-stopper.
Don't tell him that.
I don't care.
Dumb?
Jesus
I
Christ.
don't care. People can hear what they want to say.
I don't want them to hear that.
Travis can make it to the end.
I will tell you, gentlemen, take that with a grain. Whoa, big slide there. Yeah, big slide. I saw that too. But I was going to say, take that radio message with a grain of salt. I believe they expect other drivers to be listening into the broadcast. And they might be trying to maybe bait some drivers into one stop and not being able to make it. What a save there from David Weishart.
And for the lead, here comes Nichols to the inside of the 7, and look at Miller to the high side. This is classic Homestead and why we love this place so much. Pick a line and run it. It'll be fast no matter where you are on the track. Miller takes second place away.
Oh, and he's not done yet. He got a fantastic run off the corner because the 73 and the 7 were held up. Tries to die to the inside. I don't know how much he's going to be able to make it stick because that outside is really, really strong around here, especially when they're fighting for a position. So Miller's going to have to settle for second place. But interesting to hear that comment. Potentially the team's playing 4D chess, trying to misdirect everyone listening to the broadcast as far as the strategy. It's the first. I haven't heard of that.
Well, that's an interesting strategy there from Miller Racing, whether they're telling the truth or not, but we'll only find out as the race goes on. On board with Michael Kern again, running in the 7th spot. Seems like he's got more control of that car. Trying to roll on the outside and get a run on Michael Sturgill.
More tools in the toolkit. Misleading is one of them. Got to play the mind games to win the title as well. I think you can be bad fast and just drive away, but on a fixed setup, you don't really have the pit box as an option to adjust things, so you have to make everyone else make mistakes. Newbegin and Connor Horn side. Oh, the 30's in the wall hard out of turn 2.
Right in front of Jake Nichols. Nichols goes to take evasive action. Connor Horn uses the chaos to sneak his way on through to second place. So Nichols actually doesn't make up a spot in that whole fiasco, but that looks like some decent damage to the 30. It's a decent hit to the wall.
Have a look at it.
It's a win and a loss for 609 Motorsports as Connor Horn went from 5th to 2nd down the back, but at a cost of his teammates slamming the wall.
Yeah, just walked up the hill, then right there gets loose and pow! Popped it pretty good, and then everyone went 3 wide to the inside to get on by. And Connor Horn promotes himself to 2nd using that outside lane past Jake Nichols. 3 wide behind him. JT Poole on the bottom.
We'll try to look to the bottom, how to back out of it. He is going to try to make up a spot on Miller, and Miller, that car is a little bit damaged and hindered at the moment, so he'll get that spot over the 30. So up to 7th for the 26 machine. Trying to make some moves on forward. All 4 of our Championship 4 are in the top 10.
And Poole has no starts here at Homestead for area. This is his first season, so a lot of new for the 26. And I actually talked to him a little bit before the race, and he said, I've never been so nervous about a video game in my life. I told him just race it like any other race, and it looks like he's doing just that now, running calm in 7th as Seth Knoll moves up to 8th.
And Knoll's been moving up pretty quickly, actually. Remember, he restarted back in 16th or 17th place after taking fuel on that first pit stop. So he's moving forward as Connor Horn goes back to the outside of Jake Nichols as these two fight for position. All the while, James Scioli pulling a slight gap, 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, it's really not going to be much of anything for the 7. The 42 and the 73 are just going to reel him back in, so he's not going to be able to get too far, much as he may try. And one person that isn't too far from us is Eric Weiland. What do you got for us?
Absolutely, I'm never too far away, Finian. Michael Kerhan, Don DeLeo discussing their cars.
Kind of surprised everyone's running the low line still. Like, I thought some more would be up high by now. Just
trying to use the high line to pass, but
yeah, I just feel like I'm having to turn so much to get the car to stay on the low line in turn 1. And right as I say that, we're all starting to spread out here up front.
So the word in the Zikas Motorsports channel, everybody's tight. Not only is Kerhan having trouble getting turned, as he's going to get passed by JT Poole here. Cameron Hearn, as soon as I ended that recording, was complaining that he was deathly tight in traffic right now, and he's behind Seth Knoll, who now is the front runner on those tires, as you guys documented.
Yeah, interesting to keep our eyes on that. Jake Nichols right behind Connor Horn. It's been no secret that these two have not gotten along very well this year, Finian. And Connor's got a race to win, and Jake's got a much bigger deal to win. So I don't imagine that Jake really wants to be battling the 42 right now, but I'm sure the 42 is happy to oblige to a little scrap here for second place.
Yeah, I mean, he's not doing anything too crazy. I mean, they're all obliged to race the leaders. I mean, really, what all these drivers are told, just try not to interfere with the championship battle. As far as, getting into, hitting the drivers or, impeding them on purpose. But I mean, if you're all of the rest of these 20, we started with 29, the other 25 drivers are all out there to win this race. Doesn't matter.
Indeed, as a little further back here, that is the 07 of Cedric Hunter now to the outside. Alonso Ballard fighting for position with Briefly in front, Garrett Grant in the back as Scioli continues to lead. I was going to say Scioli, he's going for the trifecta this week, boys. He's a championship contender for all three series. And the thing that I find crazy about that is Tuesday night and Thursday night, Tuesday night the Trucks, Thursday night the Pro Series. It's the same four drivers going at it for the title. You got Weishart, Hearn, Beckner, and Scioli going at it for not only the Truck Championship, but the Pro Series Championship as well. And Scioli's the only one that can try and do a three-peat.
That's the best case for not doing iRating per car. Just the good drivers are good drivers in everything. It doesn't matter what they're driving. Could be a golf cart, could be a lawnmower, could be a taxi cab. They'll find their way to the front. Good little scrap back here for about 14th place. Rafe Slade on back. Pretty aggressive fight, and Skylar Shackelford slammed the door there on Dom DeLeo into turn 3.
Yeah, he did almost put him down the apron, trying to slam the door shut, and will hold on to that spot successfully. Travis Beckner trying to make up for a poor qualifying effort. Started back in 22nd. He's only up to 18th. So look off of Dom DeLeo, and behind there is where Jeremy Miller's ended up in 22nd. So he's struggling at the moment. I'm sure he can't wait for a caution to come in and have some sort of repair to that 30 car, because that car is definitely hampered in progress. Looking back up, Michael Sturgill, Douglas Newbing, JT Poole, all in behind the 42, battling for third.
And then right up the road, you see the 73 peak low. He got very close to the bumper of Scioli. Doesn't have a strong enough run to make a move to the inside yet, but JT Poole does, looking for the 5th spot from Douglas Newbigging. He's just buying his time and moving at the right pace, and Michael Kern's just watching on from behind.
And for the lead, here comes the 73, Jake Nichols. All season long, we were kind of borderline teasing him about how he wasn't dominating like he was before, but the finishes were there. It just wasn't in the win column. And I think the 73 has a bit to prove tonight, that he was a championship favorite all along, despite perhaps not at the same win number as last season. That's not going to hold him back. They touch in turn 1 and 2. Banging doors for the top spot here in the Area Cup Series finale.
I was going to say, it might be a little bit early for that. We're only left 29. These guys are starting to get a little bit physical with each other. Yeah, they're both trying to side drive each other, and I'm sure that JT Poole and Seth Knoll are loving this, because this allows them to try to catch back up on this run with them fighting so hard. I'm a bit surprised that actually Nichols is even trying to go for it at this moment, and it looks like he's going to back off.
And it was the second time they did that in 1 and 2. The first was on the initial start where they came close to making contact as still on the back. Poole clear Newbigging for 5th, and now Kern on the outside trying to take away the 6th position as Seth Knoll trying to track down all 3.
Looks like the 73 is much better leaving turn 2, and Scioli is a bit better in 3 and 4. So maybe opposite ends of the racetrack. While this place looks pretty symmetrical on a sheet of paper, it is not in person, Finney, and you know as well as I that the two ends of this racetrack. Oh, big crash behind him!
Oh my gosh!
And Seth Knoll's in it! The 71 of Newbigging, big crash on the front straightaway. His car is destroyed.
Wow. What happened?
He just absolutely walloped it.
Might have been the same thing that happened to Weishart. Might have gone a little loose and then just overcorrected back into the wall, and it skimmed the one of Seth Knoll. Not sure how much damage is on that machine, but something to keep an eye on as we look at our Simrat market replay.
It just gets loose and then overcorrects, gets on the apron, and then, oh my gosh, what a hit.
Yeah, really curious to see. Oh man, heavy hit, and you can see right there is the contact with the 1. And it initially showed a decent amount of contact with Seth Knoll on damage, but curious to see how much damage actually got here. But yeah, you can see a violent snap back, and nothing Seth Knoll could have done. This happened so quickly. He tried to turn left hard as he could.
Connor Okresic did a great job missing that. Let's go back and ride on board with the number 14. Watch with the violence the 71 changes direction. Whew. Wow. So, second yellow of the night, this time for the 73. Everyone will hit pit lane. The big question is, how much damage does the one have? And it looks okay. I just don't know how much to gauge it, Eric.
I'll give you some radio on that in one moment as we watch the leaders make their way down pit lane right here. Michael Sturgill's going to be the first to hit his box out of the top 10. It's going to be 4 tires and fuel for everybody right here. This puts them at 108 to go when they cross the line. So an easy one stop the rest of the way if it does go green. I don't expect that, Kyle, but keep that one in mind. Basically, who can get in and out of their stall the best here. Michael Sturgill with a great stop, going to get out ahead of Connor Horn. Here comes Scioli. Nichols going to try to beat him. Michael Sturgill is the real winner out of that pit sequence. He'll come out P3. Nichols nipped him there at the line. Listening to this radio from Miller Racing. Dawson spotting for Travis Beckner, but doing teammate Seth Knoll a solid.
Right rear looks good to me.
Okay.
I was good. I was good to the end.
I don't see any.
Okay.
Well, there goes that strategy out the window. Time to start driving
really.
aggressive.
So the word in the Miller Racing camp, no damage for Seth Knoll. And if I'm looking at his stop time right, 15 seconds, right in line with every other driver from the moment he hit 0 speed all the way until he accelerated through his pit box. Incredibly lucky for that one car to not have damage. Douglas Newbiging just a bad night gone worse with that mistake.
Yeah, the worst thing that went wrong for him in that stop, he actually overshot his stall by a little bit and actually had a reverse. So I think he might have lost maybe 2 or 3 spots out of that. But all things considered, could have been a lot worse. And even Douglas Newbiging asked on the radio, he's asked how bad the damage was. And Seth said, yeah, no, it's nothing really much. So as soon as the jacks dropped, he went back out there on the track. So I guess he got away. He got away with murder, basically, there.
He absolutely did, because here's radio from Jeremy Miller discussing his car after he killed it.
How much damage you have?
A ton.
He fucking killed it from second.
Whoops, I forgot to bleep Connor Horn there. I apologize to the
no
audience.
Oh,
it was
YouTube
all
will be happy
season,
with
and
that.
I finally let one slip. I'm disappointed, but
Oh man, sorry, little ones. Put that in a swear jar.
Jeremy absolutely not happy, and Connor disappointed in his driver because the 30 killed it from second place early on in the race. He was back to about 23rd right there before the yellow, and he is currently 27th, last car on the lead lap after spending about an extra 15 to 20 seconds on pit road repairing damage.
And still down there at the moment, still fixing some things up here. Field rolls out of turn 4 and should get the 1 to green this time through. We'll see if the flag goes away this time, and it looks like it will. So next time by, we'll be restarting. Race fans, be sure to visit simwrapmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple to use and help you stay more focused on the racetrack. So Scioli and Nichols have been the class of the field so far. Eric, what do you make of the contact between the 7 and 73? Looked like just a little bit of a touch. Do you think that's going to escalate, or just a mistake by either or both of them?
I wouldn't say it's a mistake. They're just going to race each other very close. This is a championship race, Kyle. The intensity absolutely picks up and peaks right here at Homestead, and it'll just creep ever so higher to the climactic point as we get closer to the finish of the race. Good hard racing. I'm excited to see more.
All right, so we'll be coming back to the green flag here in just a moment's time. Finian restarts, we've had a couple of them so far, but we've seen snap loose situations a couple of times tonight as well. Do we think we go green for a little while longer, or do you think we're going to get a couple yellows here and there to split this race up?
I could potentially see another yellow coming out here if these guys aren't careful, because we've seen some loose tires. That I'm curious if it's because of cold tires on a restart. So while had a long green flag run, these guys now have fresh cold tires, so we'll see. Keep an eye on how these guys are going to be handling here out of these corners.
Here we go. Pace cars off. Scioli leads, and a great jump on the restart. We're back underway from Homestead. JT Poole way up the racetrack, trying to ride the rim. He's really high in turn 1 and 2.
Trying to ride their Larson line out of the corner. Whoa! Greg Mitchell almost getting spun around there after some contact with the 3. Ryan Hart. He recovers and will keep it going in the right direction. But meanwhile, as mentioned, JT Poole trying to rim right around the top, trying to see if he can make up some progress. Seth Knoll also trying to make up some progress here after almost getting knocked out of this race. And the lowest of the 4 competitors, I'm sure he wants to be the highest, and he's going to try to work his way to the front now with some fresh rubber.
Looking to do just that as you see him continue to ride the outside there. This is the clear Kern for the 5th spot and get a massive run. Jordan Martin, the purple car back there, is trying to replicate that line as well. You're on board with Poole, going to look a little low as he's clear of both Kern and Curran in the middle of 3 and 4, but here comes Hearn on the outside as Scioli continues to lead the way.
And lap 37 is complete. The restarts have been pretty fierce. Seen some big moves here and see a lot of give and take that I don't think we're going to see later in this race. If we get a couple late race restarts, I'd expect things to get pretty wild out there if they haven't been already.
It might get wild here. As he Seth Knoll eyeing up a pass, threading the needle. He doesn't have to, though. He gets a decent run on the 24 on his outside. Now tries to look the inside. Cameron Hearn, who kind of slams the door shut, but this one really starting to look fast, and you can tell that damage, if there was any to begin with, is not affecting him at all.
Up front for the lead, Jake Nichols going to dive down low to the inside of Scioli into turn 1. We've seen these two touch twice in the middle of the turn. It was almost a third time there. They're going to be side by side down the back, Kyle, but the run on the outside for Scioli.
Leaving very tight margins. If anybody makes a mistake tonight, it could spell disaster for both of these two. I don't know which one's better. They've been dead even. I have a feeling that if that 73 gets out front, it'll be hard to beat, but he hasn't been able to complete the pass so far. Down on the bottom using the short route, Scioli using the fast route. Side by side for the top spot, Finian.
Imagine the scenes of these two wreck right now, because they've been getting awfully close, and there is so much riding on the line. They've been pretty much equal this season in as far as statistics, with the 73 being a little bit more consistent. They're fighting so hard. They both know that it's more or less down to them. They're the favorites. And if things just boil over just that much, if one driver just gives that much little space, these cars are already on edge on the exit of the corner. Just a little tap can send both of them flying out of control and out of it. And it looks like for now, the 73 is going to yield.
And a little momentum there from teammate Michael Sturgill of Lucky Doug Motorsports, as they're also trying to nab the team championship in this case. And it's now fighting.
Oh, 742, Connor Horn, sideways. He will save it.
Oh my gosh, we've seen that quite a few times. Garrett Grant now making a move down low over on Mitchell.
Moves back there have been very aggressive today. But they haven't ended in disaster just yet. But that's that give and take I've been watching that I don't think is going to be around at the tail end of this race. Who's going to give and who's going to take? That's going to shift and shuffle all night long. Rafe Slate looking middle 3 wide.
Yeah, it's going to try to see if he can gas it up in the middle of the corner. I'm curious to see if he's going to try to go and shoot the gap. He will not. He's just trying to get to the outside of Garrett Grant. But yeah, these guys, really these big moves are coming because a lot of these guys, they come flying out of the corner, especially at a turn 2 up high. They don't want to kill that momentum, so they just swing down low, foot on the throttle, never on the brake, never letting up, trying to keep that going. As you look a little bit further back, this is Jordan Martin, Dom DeLeo, Travis Beckner, 3-way battle for 17th.
Yeah, you heard on that radio from Miller Racing from Eric Weiland a moment ago, Travis Beckner disappointed that the yellow came out because they would have been good on fuel. At least he would have been good on fuel. Now it's time to start racing aggressive. Maybe we're seeing some of that from the number 28 as he's given the 11 of Martin a bump down the backstretch.
That big run there for the 28. Sat on it, didn't make it go 3 wide. He's going to get contact from the 22 of DeLeo just for a moment. Elbows are out. And once this race plays out here, we're not seeing a ton of tire wear, but we know that this track likes to play multi-groove, especially late in the run. Eric Wineland, what you got?
And Kyle, you stole my point. I'll build on it for you. So I didn't get the radio earlier, but James Scioli was saying he was just shocked at the fact that these tires are not falling off. So, contact there from DeLeo and Beckner, but they were only about 2/10 off what their best lap times were right before the yellow. As these three continue to scrap away, what a battle! So James, not too happy with the tire wear and the lack thereof, if you will, and that pretty much locks everyone into the same strategy. I would expect a one stop from here, guys. If we go green the rest of the way, which I have serious doubts about, expect to see the guys anywhere between 55 to 50 to go if you want to split it evenly. But expect some people to play some strategies, but no two-stop strategies.
What do you mean?
No two-stop strategies.
What do you mean the serious doubt about no yellows? I think we're going to go perfectly green. We just got some slam drafting and big blocks and just your casual Homestead Miami season finale stuff. It's been aggressive.
Life is wonderful up front, but it's not in the back. Listen to Solar Flare Racing.
Taking her easy. Let him do all the hard work.
Oh, I swear to God, man.
So Jake Nichols having a great time up in second, letting James Scioli do the work as we watch Delonte Ballard get loose right there. Not a fun time for the driver of the number 21 in the mix back here in the back. This is some of the most intense racing of the entire race back here for about 15th.
A big moment there in the middle of 1 and 2. He caught it, but it walked up the hill. And we've seen that snap loose condition a couple of times tonight. And both times that we've seen it end in disaster. That was the 71 and also the 3.
Yes, I think so. So you look at Dante Ballard fighting with the 88 and Skylar Shackle for the battle for 15th up the road. Cameron Hearn has overtaken JT Poole for 4th place, and now that leaves JT Poole at the hands of Seth Knoll, trying to see if he can get past the 26 for the first time since the start of the race. And up further, looking at the 73 and the 7 still tailing each other. I'm sure they're trying to see if they can break away, similar to what we saw on that first long green flag run.
Yeah, they're trying to, but they've still got 17 of Sturgill lurking in the back there in 3rd spot. He's trying to keep Hearn back from the podium position. The other 2 championship contenders running 5th and 6th, you see on the screen, JT Poole, Seth Knoll. But back here is getting spicy with Delonte Ballard and Dom DeLeo.
A lot of green cars back here. At least 4 of them in this shot, technically. Down the back stretch. Travis getting aggressive, as he said he would. Delonte Ballard moving forward, despite that snap loose we were talking about. And the 22 and 28 have been leaning on each other quite a bit.
Yes, because they have, whoa, and I can see the 28 loose, still loose off of turn 4. I was just going to say that, you know, they say that green is a unlucky color in motorsports. And we have a lot of green cars on a very small piece of racetrack. We have the 28 who's looking really loose. So I just was watching the wheels off of a different angle. The wheels trying to correct that car to keep it going straight. And that's really the big thing I think we might see the next caution come out for is these guys, as the tires start to wear out, lose a little bit of handling, might end up spinning, similar to what we saw with Newbigging.
Oh, boy,
man.
big moment there for Beckner in the middle of 3 and 4. I was looking in the back that last lap at Weishart and Martin as Weishart got up near the wall and turn 4, didn't hit it. But it's a matter of time before these two just hit each other. Oh, they almost did it right there before they hit each other and bring out a caution, because that's where this is going, Kyle.
You know, this is like watching someone set up a campfire when they've got a gallon jug of gasoline sitting a couple feet away. It just takes one little mistake and the whole thing's going up in flames. And right now, the 22 and 28, they have just been leaning on each other back here. This is for 16th place. I think both of them would like to dispatch the other, but someone's got to give, and neither is.
Yeah, and contact aside, besides these guys hitting each other, which they're getting so close to doing so, one thing that's also making me nervous too is the fact that they're landing on each other's rear quarter panel. And we've seen the side drafting. You know, the way it works is by ruining the air, disrupting the air off the rear spoiler of the car that's ahead of you. And what the consequence of that is that car then has less rear grip. So if you can ride up on someone's quarter panel like that, you might end up setting them spinning loose sideways if you're close enough.
Oh, close to the wall there. A little further up front, the 3 of Ryan Harst just trying to bring home a solid finish to cap off the Cup Series season. And Michael Curran battling for the 8th spot right now as side-by-side battle up here. Cameron Hearn and Michael Sturgill battle for 3rd. Here comes JT Poole now to the inside.
Yeah, and slowly but surely, we are getting all 4 championship contenders up into that top 4. Just Hearn and Sturgill to dispatch before we get them there, and they're working on it.
Trying to look to the inside, just isn't quite there. So close for Sturgill, but Cameron Hearn trying to defend this with as much as possible, as much as he can. Ooh, a little bit of a snap there from JT Poole. Here comes Seth Knoll now with the run to the outside and a head full of steam. Ooh, and actually kisses the wall on entry.
side by side for 5th on the track, but 3rd in the championship standings. So we're going to have a nice battle here coming out of turn 4. Meanwhile, Jake Nichols once again has closed up to the bumper of James Scioli. Doesn't have enough to make the move yet, but he's still applying pressure to that 7.
These two have been the best of the bunch tonight, but I'm telling you guys, that 1 continues to get better. It's not we've seen him win races in almost an unexpected way. He would win pole and qualifying and then go out and dominate the race, but tonight the speed is progressively coming, and his best lap is only a couple hundredths off of those ahead of him. So I think he's going to be in good shape in the long run of this race. But the front 2, though, I think we could see some drama amongst these two. I don't know that we're going to have a completely clean and fair fight. They're going to try, I'm sure, but somehow you can't just run side by side every lap for 100 more laps and not have these drivers make a mistake. I don't care how good they are.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've seen Ryan Hartz, he was the nice guy in the battle with Jake Nichols last year. I don't think we're going to say the same thing. Scioli is going to be willing to stand his ground, and you can bet that Nichols is also going to be willing to stand his ground. He can't go a couple of months, all of this hard work, months of work thrown away in just one race. Neither of these two drivers are going to be backing down, I can tell you that. And when push comes to shove, someone's going to shove someone probably into the wall.
And Nichols completes the pass on Scioli there. Scioli had a big wiggle in 3 and 4, and Nichols almost cleared him on the front stretch, but waited until the back stretch to do just that. And now the 73 trying to run away from it. Here comes Seth Knoll down to the inside, looking for 4th from Sturgill. Going to get close here.
Oh, look out.
Big touch.
Runs him up the
track
hill.
Goes Sturgill. Whoa. And here comes JT pulling out, looking to take away 4th from Knoll.
Oh, wow. Seth giving it all he had. I still think he's quick. He just didn't want to spend another lap side by side with the 17. Now he's going to do it with a championship contender, which I guess works out. But that was almost a crash. We've seen that kind of side by side slip and slide action turn into a right hook into the outside wall before, Finney. Yeah. I was waiting for that to happen.
That was a big risk from the 1 to take, and fortunately it paid off there. But I guess that's Seth Knoll thinking, listen, I got a championship to win. You don't. Beep, move out of the way.
Beep, all right.
That's another big risk there, as you saw him blink in and out. Cannot be having connection issues, as he's still looking low underneath the pool. They're going to be door to door coming out of 2 and down the back.
And in behind them, here comes Connor Horn with a big run. You can see that 42, the green 42, entering the frame slowly like a shark in the water. And Seth Knoll still struggles to get around the 26. A dive off into 3 and a bit of a slide job. He will hold off the 26 and get that 4th place spot. He's lost a little bit of time, and here comes that 42, Connor Horn on a charge.
Wow, big push from the 26. Seth Knoll drops to the inside, and we'll let him fight off the 42 and the 17. JT's going to go high, though, carry that momentum, and that's going to pay off at the exit of 2. He's too high, though. Got almost into the outside wall, but look at the run he gets. It's just like another 15 miles an hour and just gives him a shot into turn 3, Eric.
The intensity's picking up, Kyle. Listen in here to JT Poole just a few laps ago when he was behind the 17.
I'm trying to get by. You want a sound bit for the stream? Michael Sturgill. There you go, Eric.
Hey, I like that one.
You can just bleep it. I'll let Seth go. That dude. Not Seth. Sturgill.
Oh! The 26 in the wall.
JT Poole obviously not happy, and he's going backward right now, guys. This is not what
Caution.
you want. I think he's using too much tire on the top, and of course things change.
Delonte Ballard spins out back straight away. 3rd yellow of the night.
I think you guys predicted this one, didn't you? Something about everyone else that's gotten loose has had a problem.
That snap loose condition, we know it's going to be ugly. Here's a look at it.
Well, he had a bit of help in this one.
Yeah, snap loose, meaning the 88 snapped him across the rear bumper.
I guess the snap came from someone else.
Granted, he was looking a little bit loose as he was getting him behind the 22, and then it kind of just looked steady, finish him off.
You could say that Skyler finally snapped loose on Delonte.
I have a feeling that he would have spun out anyway, but I think, Finney, you're right. He was loose, and then the 88 just didn't really lift. I don't know that it would have helped him a lot, but
hey, that was a solar flare driver. I can give you live radio.
Well, he did
a good
job.
It's not from TK.
Yeah. It did a good job gathering it up and not hitting anything, but we're back on pit lane. And strategy here, Eric, how does this shift things up?
Ooh, this is still not close enough to the end, Kyle. Finney and Hunter, these guys they want the fresh rubber, but this is not going to get them into the window to make it to the end. You can't even stretch it like Travis Beckner wanted to, even if you decide to not shift throughout the rest of the race. So 4 tires and fuel for everybody. Get the damage fixed that you need to get fixed off of pit road. It's going to be the 7 who drove through the 73 to get to the line first and win the race off pit road.
Had a really good launch leaving the box and just kept accelerating and did a nice job and actually beat the 73 out pretty handily there. Cameron Hearn, Connor Horn, Seth Knoll, JT Poole. So the top 4 in the championship still in the top 6. And it does seem like they've been playing big time offense to catch the 7 and 73, Finian. So do you think the latter 2, the 1 and the 26, still have anything for the 7 and 73, or does it seem like they're the best ones?
I think the one we definitely keep an eye on. I know I've been kind of hyping him up, but he's been looking really promising. He's just not had the track position all night long because he started the race in 10th, drifted back a little bit, then restarted around 11th at first caution, worked his way up a little bit, then got involved with Douglas Newbig and got put all the way back to like 18th, 19th position. Actually, sorry, he came in earlier to gas up on fuel, got put back to 18th, 19th. Then the incident with Newbigging, got put back a couple more spots, and now finally this is the first time he's restarted, I think, inside the top 10 all night long. And he's restarting in 5th, so he's got good track position to work with now and equal tires with everyone else, so we definitely want to keep an eye on. The 26 of JT Poole worries me a little bit more. It seems like towards the end of that last run, he was really starting to struggle and be enveloped by the other drivers in behind him. But, I mean, this is a new run, new lease on life. I'm just really curious what they got, because the 7 and the 73 haven't had really anyone else to tangle with. They've been in their own zip code for most of the night. So the 1 jumps up there. I'm curious to see how that changes the dynamic. And also, don't throw a Connor Horn. He was driving through the field near the end. I'm not sure if he just saved more tire than everyone else, but he was looking really quick towards the end of the last run.
Well, not only that, but Cameron Hearn as well. He also is driven up into the podium spot, and I'm pretty sure he would like to go out with a win for the Cup side of things. And yeah, but other than that, I can see the 7 or the 73 winning the title. Don't count out the 1 or the 26 just yet. They have fast enough speed, but will be fast enough to contend with the top 2.
You're watching the Area Cup Series finale from Homestead Miami Speedway. We are approaching the halfway point, lap 65 of 140. Race fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle comes to a close tonight. See which driver will take home that $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings. Well, guys, be coming back to the green this time by doubling up, re-rack, and restacking. And again, the 7 will be in command. And he seems like he's the better car for a couple laps after the restart. And then the 73 gets good. It was a dangerous situation to have that 73 out front, Finian, but now the 7 is back under control.
Yeah, and curious to see now how that's going to change up the dynamic between these two. I'm curious to see if we see maybe Jake Nichols take the lead of this race and start to mess with things near the front, because, I mean, he was leading in the last run, but James Scioli has also been looking pretty quick. We'll see. And again, with the 1 and the 26 right in behind, the closest they've been to the front, if they can mix things up, or even the 42 Connor Horn, you never know. There's some pretty quick drivers out there. We'll see who gets near the front now.
Pace car will make that left-hand turn onto pit lane. The flag is in the hands of the starter. Lap 66 of 145 to halfway. Green flag back in the air. James Scioli with another strong start and immediately jumps to the high lane.
Great jump for him. Nichols has been struggling on the restarts, but he's been coming back strong here. He's got a great run through 1 and 2. Got to watch him on the back straightaways. You look almost 3, almost 4 wide. Coming off of turn 2, drag race between the 4 and the 42, the 26 and the 1. Also fighting with Michael Sturgill coming to the inside, 3 wide with the 1 and the 26.
Ooh, that's going to get tight right there. It's going to have to chase Knoll up the track nearly into Poole, as they are 2 wide, 3 wide all throughout this pack. And there's JT Poole going to merge down low. Nice run. It's going to clear for 5th. Seth Knoll dropping back, though, to 8th.
Oh, the 17 might be remembering the contact they had on that prior run. He's not cutting the 1 any breaks now. Little wobble by the
Ryan
3
Hartz.
out of turn
Whoa.
2. This one's he's gonna lift. Didn't want to split him 3 wide, but he has to now. Getting held up. He's still gonna wait on it. That was smart, but watch out for the 24 on the inside and behind him. Very tight.
Yeah, it's all about weighing your risks here. You know, he just decided it wasn't worth it, wasn't sure the 3 was going to save it or not. Didn't want to risk getting more damage or getting involved in a master wreck that could take him out, so decided to play it safe. You can argue it might have cost him a spot or 2 as they go 3 wide. You see Connor Kresick all the way up against the wall, and then number 14 trying to rip her around, and now he's going to get a great run, gets slammed, the door shot on him by the one of Seth Knoll.
And falling back to 8th. So they're side by side all throughout that back half of the top 10 and top 15.
7 of Scioli leads the way, but it is pretty fierce just outside the top 10. That's where the drama has been on this latest restart. 5 of Garrett Grant runs high, the 22 of Dom DeLeo. And the 17 and the 26.
Yeah. Sturgill making another move on the 26 of JT Poole, and Poole not happy with the 17. Feels like he's been impeding his progress forward. The 17 will get on by the 26 and move himself up inside the top 5.
Meanwhile, Connor Horns moved past the 4 of Cameron Ahern up into the podium spot as Jake Nichols now half second back from race leader James Scully. He was going to say, always seems to follow the 73 of Nichols. The later we go into the run, the faster that 73 somehow gets, preserving the tires early on in the run. As JT Poole now going to look low underneath the 17 of Sturgill, trying to take 5th back, but here comes the 3 of Hartz.
Yeah, Ryan Hartz, that car has been on edge for him tonight. He has not been comfortable. Saved from a big crash early with a quick correction on the inside, but we saw him also get loose on this restart, so I don't know if I'd want to be behind him if I'm anybody else, seeing how much trouble he's had tonight. Just really pushing, has a lot of rear slide in it, but he's on offense now.
I see JT Poole trying to get both of these guys even so they can fight each other and not on him. As Sturgill and Hartz now battle it out. Seth Knoll catching back up. Whoa, as Sturgill a big wiggle off of turn 4 for him.
They work their way single file throughout the top 10, except for Hartz. Still looking low underneath Sturgill for the 6th position. A little further back here, they're almost 3 wide, but they're still running close to the wall. Got Grant, Slate, and then the 81 of Culberson side by side now with teammate Belante Ballard for position as the rest of the field works their way into turn 3.
It's actually challenging to get them all in one camera shot. They're on the extremes of the track at one end, bottom and top. And no, not a lot of people in the middle, at least in 1 and 2. Half-second lead for James Scioli. He's led the most laps tonight by far. And as far as locking up that, again, it doesn't matter for points tonight, but just for statistics keeping purposes, he's led 56 laps, only would need to lead about 20 more, 15 more.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the last thing on his mind. He's just more worried about that 73 than anything. And he's brought out a bit of a gap. And courtesy how this plays out to him in the long run is...
Oh, boy.
Did you just see what I just saw? Holy cow.
Hold on to
Tail
that
end of
thing.
it.
Oh, there's the one. One got into the 17 again, and then it was a huge correction there by Michael Sturgill to gather it back up. These guys have not been friendly to each other tonight.
Yeah, it looked like they both kind of went into each other a little bit. The 17 was looking a little wobbly when he's trying to turn in.
Oh, he's going to get turned by the 28.
Oh,
Now he will.
Yeah, they got together, and I don't know how they didn't just crash right there. I think Beckner cut him a break. They got together, and it almost turned ugly.
Yeah, a lot of angry drivers out there, and I'm sure a lot of them either angry at the 17 or 17 angry at them.
Well, looking through here, last time by, 33-1 from leader Scioli, 32-9 from Nichols, 33 flat from Cameron Ahern. They're closing in, and Nichols once again has caught up with the leader of Scioli. This always seems to happen. And then they get into a close side-by-side kerfluffle. Now they got Cameron Ahern, though, that's right behind these two as well. So if these two make contact and slide up the track, Cameron Ahern might take the lead here, Kyle.
Yeah, Nichols didn't run him down just a little bit. He ran him down really fast. And now, again, they got that third player that you mentioned, the 4 of Cameron Ahern in the background. And so far, it has really just been the 7 and 73 that have been the class of the field tonight. And the 26 and 1 have a little bit of work to do still, but give me a couple more yellows and a couple more restarts, and I think we could have something different on our hands.
Well, we might have something here. 26 has been fighting with the 42 last lap or two, and it looks like GT will finally going to get ahead of the 42. Connor Horn, who will sit in behind the 26. Seth Nolan lined up next at bat, trying to see if he can get around the 42 machines. All a battle for 4th place. Reinhardt's also waiting in behind.
Yeah, nice little battle here with these 4 drivers as Horn peaking low, going to go back high. And now here comes the one of Noel, going to look low, try to get some air on the nose before he gets cut off by Horn. He's going to bump into Horn. Got a little sideways there, but they all keep it going straight, and now Michael Kearns joining the mix. Meanwhile, Nichols continues to hunt down Scioli.
Nola's been aggressive tonight. If he wants to win this title, he's doing everything that he's able to do it. I mean, there's no payback at this point. As long as nobody ditches it out in the race, you can knock a couple people out of the way. You got a whole offseason to smooth it over, and winning the championship, you can't take that away. But if you make someone too mad, get yourself caught up in something tonight, and that wouldn't be ideal.
Oh, absolutely. That's the last thing you want as you look back at our top 3, Scarlett, Nichols, Hearn. All remaining single file, I think probably looking at the big picture. And I'm sure really a lot of drivers just trying to now pick when's the next time they're going to come down to pit lane. Eric, any word for us on that?
So we went green with about 74 to go, if my math is correct there, Finian. Actually, no, I'm sorry, 76, maybe 77. So expect them to split it in half again for the tire purposes, though the fall off, like I said, isn't as bad as we thought. So I expect that range to get much wider, maybe see guys as early as now if the pit window is just becoming open the next lap. May see some guys that early, I don't think, because there is at least a little bit of fall off. We're about 2/10 off our fastest lap times now as they run, at least for the top 10. So keep your eye on it, but I don't expect to see him for another, I'd say, 15 to 20 laps. But I did have a question for you all. Gentlemen, have we talked about Rick's hot sauce?
We have.
I missed out on the opportunity for this wonderful segue.
Who's going to get that $100 prize? That's what we want to know.
Well, it's locked up. Unfortunately, there's no big race for it tonight. Connor Horn, since he qualified for the second round of the playoffs, congratulations. He was the only rookie to do so, so by default, he wins the Rookie of the Year contest presented by Rick's Hot Sauce. But I will give mad props to the 07 of Cedric Hunter, who is currently 9th overall in the standings, just missed the cut for the second round of the playoffs. So unfortunately, he didn't get to continue the battle with Connor Horn, but that battle all season has been a fun one to watch as we watch Seth Knoll work on Connor Horn to try to get a spot on the racetrack for a top 5.
So Connor Horn's got that $100 prize. Not bad at all. Rick's hot sauce, though, that'd be a pretty good price. Send me some. Give me my address.
Well, you're gonna have a new address soon.
I'm not. Well, that's a fair point.
I'll take some of that South Beach heat with where we're at right now. So
for me, it's the Palm Beach pineapple is what sounds like the jam to me. I'm a sweet and spicy kind of guy.
Well, why not both?
Right.
I wonder what code Jake Nichols is going to use.
Right.
Code beep beep.
Is it not plastered on James Scioli's rear
It's
bumper
not,
like it is in the
no.
truck? I am ultimately disappointed. I set that one up so perfectly, and then the paint schemes let me down, gentlemen.
Well, we are working our way towards what I would call the final stages of this race, guys. Last half hour or so of action. And the 7 and the 73 have just been untouchable tonight. I don't want to say even in really the same zip code, or is there trouble or pit stops? Trouble on the front straightaway. Skylar Shackelford, caution is out.
Well, now there's going to be pit stops.
All right, well, that answers that question. I saw a bunch of cars slow and figured there had to be one of two things.
There are quite a few slow in this one.
Oh, my goodness. What?
3 cars involved, 4.
Well, just because there's racetrack down there doesn't mean it has to be used.
What happened here?
I think it was 1 or 2 separate incidents. Well, here's where it started. Delonte Ballard and Rafe Slate coming out the corner. 21 gets loose, hooks the 8 into the wall. They go. What did the other 2 get involved? Oh, Delonte.
Ben Pierce again. Nowhere to go.
His luck is so bad.
It has not been good tonight, has it?
Early all season.
Oh man, that 8 just got absolutely clobbered. And then
Oh, and for those wondering why the 21 just came across the track like that, he tried turning right. The car just was not turning right anymore after some decent hit to the wall. He kept trying to, but the car just kept drifting off to the left. To this decent out, that's a pretty hard lick, and that upset the steering on that car.
well, brings out our, are we on 4th yellow now as the field heads down to pit lane and pit stops underway, Eric.
Money stop time. This could potentially, I don't think so, but it could potentially be the last stop of the race for these guys. So we're going to watch the lead battle between James Scioli and Jake Nichols, who can get the best of their pit road sequence this time around. James is in the box pretty quick there. Over the 73, we'll watch as 4 tires and fuel across the board. You're going to see that the rest of the night. These guys should be using their 3rd set of tires right here, so they'll still have another 2 laying in the pits. Down and away goes the 73. He's going to beat him.
We
Jake
beat
Nichols
him.
beats James Scioli off of pit road. This could be the turning point, gentlemen.
And it came down to the pit stop time. It was 2/10 quicker for Jake Nichols, and that will do it, Finian.
Yeah, I was going to say very, very close with the times between these two, and I think also you got to talk about also Nichols having a closer pit stop to the exit. That also always helps being that first pit stall. So a big win for the 73, finally getting out ahead of the 7 off on pit lane. And not too many changes in behind these guys. Looks like Michael Curran's beat Seth Noel off, but as Eric mentioned, this is could be the money stop, could be the last stop. Last time we see these guys on pit lane, so it's going to be a really big thing to see. Will these guys go? Will we go green? Even do you think that there's a chance we might go green, guys? Or do you think we might see some more cautions?
Well, I think this has the chance of going green, but with the aggression that we're seeing throughout the rest of the field tonight, it wouldn't surprise me if we get another caution. But we have reached our average of yellows for Homestead as we are closing in towards the end of the Season 4 Cup Series season, Kyle.
Well, this oval racing season is coming to a close, but more racing on SimTV this fall, including some road racing, the MTech Endurance Series. It's SimTV this fall. Championship night for the Area Cup Series. We are getting closer to the end of the season. Just 52 laps remain in this title fight between 4 drivers: Jake Nichols, James Scioli, JT Poole, and Seth Knoll. Eric Wineland, we're coming to restart here, and you said this could be the money stop. I say we've got more yellows on the horizon, and shortly, because it's about to get gnarly out there.
Oh, absolutely. Aggressiveness level is just going to continue to rise, but I got my eye on these front 2. You guys have been talking about them all night. Jake Nichols, 7 for 12 career on 1.5-mile tracks. James Scioli yet to win on a 1.5-mile track. Can he get it done tonight, Kyle? I think so. We'll have to see how these final 52 play out.
Here we go. Lap 89 of 140. Jake Nichols in command. Green flag back in the air. We're racing once more at Homestead Miami Speedway. Clean restart for the 73. He goes up high. Behind him, there's still double stacks. Scioli turns in for the bottom. and he's got all clear. The 42 now looks to the high side.
Conor trying to get some clean air, trying to get that run off the corner. A little bit of loose
behind
snap.
him. Crash.
Suspension corner into the wall. Hard hit for the 07. Looks like almost everyone's going to get through except the Ada Slate. They're still going green, though, as that was almost calamity.
Three wide for third place up ahead. Conor Horton, Cameron Hearn, JT Poole rocketing off the corner.
Holy cow, Travis Beckner's performing a slideshow out of turn 4. They're 4 wide heading in the turn. Madness all over the place, Kyle.
Oh, man, this is absolute chaos. We figured this was coming. It's go time. 42 sideways out of turn 2.
Oh, man, he probably just gave Seth Knoll a heart attack there as he gathers it back up. Will lose a couple spots in the process. And Seth Knoll will move up a spot.
Caution's going to happen back outside the top 10. I mean, they're still going 3 wide. So they were 4 wide that last lap heading in the turn.
Oh, here we go.
They're still close.
Banging doors, banging bumpers, nose to tail, side to side, mirror to mirror. Into turn 1. The 22 up high. Culberson slides across the rear bumper. This is just getting out of hand. Look at the 26 now. Here comes the 24 and the 1. The 26 and 1 have to go now. If this race goes green to the end, they've got to get to Nichols and Scioli, especially because with that 73 out front and good long run pace, he could be lights out and gone by the time they get there.
Yeah, it looks like 26 JT Poole. He's clearing away. Seth Knoll now fighting with Cameron Hearn. Hearn and to see how much of a fight he's going to put up. And finally, look at the ticker right there. The top 4, all in the top 4. But the championship 4 all in the top 4, I should say.
Of 92 laps, but it always seems to happen at least once during these championship races as Cameron Hearn's looking to, well, he was looking to take away 4th, but he's going to tuck in line right behind the 1 of Knoll. Going to try it on the outside. As now Knoll getting close to the quarter panel of JT Poole. About to be side by side for 3rd. Not yet, though.
I said it was go time. They must have heard me immediately into 3rd and 4th place. I still think this one might have a little more raw pace than the 26, but he has been a bit more frantic tonight than JT Poole has. Now we get to really see their pace. Once they get sorted, can they run down the leaders? Jake Nichols has the, correction. Seth Knoll has the fastest lap of the front runners. By a couple thousandths of a second, but fastest nonetheless.
Yeah, keeps him charged the inside of JT Poole. I think he's trying to scare him out of that lane, making him think that he's going to drive up into him and either tap him or get to his inside and scare the 26 out of that inside line because he's been trying to block that lane. He does in that time, and here comes the 1 trying to get there to see if he can squeeze his nose. Not quite there enough, so he'll have to back off and try again next time around.
He can try to pass him all he wants, but if he can't complete the pass soon enough, they stay side by side. That's just going to allow the top 2 to
contact with Jeremy Miller. Jeremy Miller turning the 14 to Conor Kresick. Caution out again.
Oh, look out! Oh, look at Culberson avoid that, but the beef between Solid Rock Performance and 609 Motorsports continues in the season finale race here at Homestead.
And this was boiling over before. I heard them on the radio talking about each other. They ran into each other in, I think, the corner prior or the lap prior, and it boiled over there next lap around.
Well, I would keep my eye on the 14. It's like he will settle into line. Let's have a look at what happened between the 30 and the 14. Here is the fight. It's off into turn 3 and just kind of gets hit from behind. And then there's the touch. I don't know how much the 30 really could have lifted because he had Travis Beckner right up his rear bumper as well. But either way, he did get into him.
Well, I can tell you how the admins feel about it because they just parked the 30 for the night.
Yeah, that'll happen. Well,
not a good look.
No, and
that's number 2 on the year.
Yeah. Here it is again from high above.
I will tell you guys, Carter was very livid on the radio, and I'm not going to replay audio from there.
Yeah, that second hit. I thought the 28 was closer than he was. Boy. Well, Conor Kresick will be able to continue, albeit maybe a lap or 2 down. And I think the catalyst to that was the probation the 30 was already on. That will end his night. So this will reset us now with just over 40 to go. Do you pit, Finian? Or actually, let's go with Eric.
Drove right through him.
Strategy man. Here we
Twice.
No. I want track position.
No.
We're down to the nitty-gritty of this race. I want track position. Hearn tried to make it work after on 5-lap tires earlier in the race. And while he did drive back up through the field a little bit, he and Seth, they didn't get back to the front where they needed to be. So no, you do not stop here. The only time you're stopping again is if we get a decent run. And right now, Kyle, I don't expect to see that for a little bit longer yet.
All right. Well, it is just a perfect representation of the cream rising to the top. 73, 7, 26, and 1. Nose to tail. They will make up the front 2 rows on this restart. Finian.
Isn't that funny how that always happens?
Script's acting out according to plan.
Well, you won't like how the ending is.
Well, it's about time to start settling things out here with just over 40 laps to go, and it's probably going to be 40-ish at the restart. Do we have new favorites?
No, I'll keep my favorite.
Yeah, I'm good.
Eric?
I am very content with mine. I still am rooting for the underdog, James Scioli. Like I said, no wins on 1.5 tracks. He breaks
Underdog.
through and beats
Underdog,
the
yeah.
king of them.
The underdog is running
Hey,
third on the
if you
track
sit
right
here
now.
and- If you sit here and look at the stats, and I'm a big stats guy, 0 wins on 12 career starts on 1.5 scenario.
I mean,
You
that's
know
also
what? I'm a
ignoring the
big-
5 wins he has this season.
You know what? I'm a big
The highest
stats
of
guy
anyone
too.
else.
We're at a 1.5, Finney, and he has not ever broken through on a 1.5 race. Night is night, he does. That is
Well,
my argument.
I am
That is
going.
why
My
he's an
argument,
underdog
my argument,
this
your
scenario.
argument is that the driver in third has no wins ever.
In the
My
Area Cup
argument
series, he
is
has one in the trucks.
that my driver won the Area 500, and we wrote him off early as just being able to win a restrictor plate race. Then all of a sudden, bam, win, 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 right when he needed to. Seth Knoll still wins this race, guys, and I'm shocked no one else picked him.
I picked him. What do you mean?
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't paying attention. I was focused on my pick, not yours.
Well,
Wait,
okay.
does that mean no one picked JT Poole?
No.
Well, someone's
My
got to pick the
heart-
underdog, the real one.
JT, no. James is an underdog in this scenario. I'm gonna fight you on
More
that.
so than the
Yeah, nah.
26? No way.
Hey, I said it earlier. My
Hey,
gut
if this
says
were
the
the truck
73, but my
series-
heart says JT Poole.
If this were the truck series, I would have an argument that JT Poole would run really well and potentially win a championship. This ain't the truck series, gentlemen.
I'm glad we
It's the
established
Cup
that.
series. The Cup series stats are the ones that matter.
All right. Well, here we go. Lap 99, 42 laps to go. 42 laps to go. There's math. Homestead Miami Speedway, green flag. The 7 is sleeping, and the
Whoa.
1 jumps to the outside immediately.
Oh boy, immediately 3 wide there for second place. Will he be able to do anything with it though? Because these guys are still building up speed, and he's going to try to rock around the outside. Gets a little bit further out of the 7. We've seen some massive runs off of turn 2. Here he comes as they come 3 wide again off the corner. Seth Knoll up to second place.
This is the best thing Jake Nichols can see out of his mirror. All the championship contenders fighting for position, but now the one of Knoll has a strong run in the turn 3, clear of Poole and Scioli. Poole has his hands full with Hearn right behind him. Oh boy, very close quarters racing coming off 4.
Really tight for the top spot, though. Jake, no, look at the 3. Big dive to the inside of the 4. Are they going to touch and have some contact here? Look at Connor Horn trying to turn up underneath both of them. He can't do it. The top 4 trying to drive away from the chaos behind him. And look at Seth Knoll up to second from 4th on the restart. But here comes Scioli back.
Yeah, finally someone interrupting the Jake and James show up near the front, and James Scully trying to see if he can interrupt it again. In his favor, can't quite get back to that 1. Actually gets a little bit loose off of turn 4. In behind the 4 and the 3 in a dogfight. I was amazed that they didn't wreck each other in turn 1. They got so close to touching each other, but they just were a couple inches away, and they kept it throughout the corner.
Oh, Nichols leaving that bottom open, going to give a room for the 1 to have a run on the inside. Down they go, down the backstretch, side by side for the lead and for the championship, heading into 3.
I'll tell you what, Seth Knoll got hot at the right time this season, throws it into 3, and Jake Nichols will concede it for now. Seth Knoll powers to the front here at Homestead, Miami, and just clears the 73 of Nichols. 39 laps to go.
Yeah, I think we're definitely seeing this one who's willing to do what it takes to win a championship. We talked about his season being very much like Tony Stewart, and as Tony Stewart said, he's willing to wreck his mom for a championship, and I think this one's in a very similar mindset. He's been driving aggressively so hard tonight, and that's exactly what you need in this championship-style format, and up to the lead he goes. The big question, can he hold on to it?
It's a very good question if he can hold on to it. Less than 40 to go in this season. As the championship 4 all running inside the top 4. Jake Nichols all over the bumper of the 1. Going to try and force him to make a mistake. But here comes the 7 of Scioli down to the inside for second.
I think the biggest detriment to Jake Nichols and James Scioli is each other. If they're so close and so busy fighting each other, that leaves the door open for someone like Seth Knoll or someone like JT Poole to drive away. Maybe both of them will. Here comes the 26 to the bottom.
Oh, he thought about it. He wanted to so desperately, but he knew he had to back out. Otherwise, he would have taken all 3 of them out of it. So, Poole backing out, but he had a massive run down the straightaway. It must have taken a lot of restraint for him to pull back on it. But I definitely agree. The 7 and the 73 are their own worst enemy here because they are so similar in speed. They've been battling each other all night long, and they're just not able to find a clear person to be in front, and especially now because we talked about a little bit of give and take earlier on. It's all take now, especially for the championship 4.
Strong run from Poole and strong run from Nichols. He's going to try and look to the outside of Seth Knoll for the lead. It's not going to be enough there. Here comes the 7 trying to find a room down low. And JT Poole just riding in behind. Watch the 26 through turn 1 and 2. He's going to rip the top.
Jake was real sideways in 3 and 4 after trying to maintain that outside groove. And behind him, even James Scioli hunting for some grip. I think the 73 is the fastest car on raw pace, but just because of the distraction he has with the 7, that might be enough.
You got Eric Weiland talking to us.
7-car audio.
You got no pressure from behind right now?
Oh, no, I'm so much faster than you guys, bro.
I mean, long run, you'll fly right around them.
We're not going to get a long run.
He's badged long run, Santee, so I'm just going to let him do his thing for a second. Scioli's my only focus for long run.
That's on the broadcast.
That's fine.
So first message there, James Scioli and company at Lucky Duck Motorsports talking the 3 wide moves on the restart. JT Poole made that way close. And then the second audio there, Jake Nichols only focused on the 7. Knew the 1 would use up his stuff too early. Now, Seth drops back behind Jake, guys. And is this a ploy to hang on to his tires now that he got himself in better track position? I'm not quite sure.
There's just a cold clinicism behind Jake Nichols and how he just knows how much he can control this race with his raw pace. The 26 almost just saw lights go out in turn 2 alongside the 4 and the 3. But I'll tell you, this 1 car is not going to go away, I don't think, in the short term at least. He is aggressive. And while Jake, in the long run, is clinical with the place that he puts his car and how much he uses his tires, this one wants it.
Oh, man, a big block on the 7, or at least try to block him to the inside. Now they'll come side by side off the corner. I'm a bit surprised Seth Knoll hasn't tried that top side on the 73. They come pretty much equal off the corner. Here comes a big charge. Ryan Hartsey gives a shove. Oh, door-to-door contact with the 1 and the 7. They're turning into each other, into 3 and 4. During each other, they almost somehow don't wreck.
Wow.
That was intense racing there, Kyle. I can't believe they're still going straight. I thought they would have ended it right there, but it turns out that they did not. And it's going to allow the 73 Nichols to pull away. Half-second lead in turn 1.
That's going to hurt some feelings, though, I'm sure. They got together, went off into turn 3, and almost took each other out. Jake Nichols drives off into the sunset, or what's left of it. 0.6 of a second advantage. JT Poole throws a block on Connor Horn.
And Horn decided, all right, I'll go around the outside through the middle, and he'll get 2 passes done. And Michael Sturgill almost just dumped the 1. Man, everyone is making enemies with each other. We're so close to the end of the season, and everyone's getting very angry.
Yeah, well, if you have any ill will towards someone, you have about 30 laps left to get that anger out towards someone. As the 1 on the bottom, the 26 on the outside, fighting out for 3rd in the championship standings, and for 6th on the racetrack, Poole with the run.
The 1 and the 17 have tangled a couple of times tonight. Don't count this out as a disaster. And the 26 and 42 been getting pretty racy as well. And the 4 and the 3. It's just 2-car tangos of enemies all the way back. And now Scioli is clear of the 1, but here is what happened between those two drivers as they went down the back straightaway a couple of laps ago. It just got messy here for a second.
It really did. I was surprised that they got into it. I guess James got a little bit too aggressive, got into the 1, and Noel, I guess, took it a little bit too far. I was trying to see if he can hold off the 7, but that completely annihilated his momentum and cost him a bunch of spots.
Oh, yeah, they nearly took themselves out, the 3, the 4, possibly the other championship contender in JT Poole as well once they got on the apron, but they corralled it, and now the 7's going to try and run down the 73 and Nichols. Less than 30 to go here from Homestead. Meanwhile, JT Poole, Connor Horn battling for the top 5.
Look out, look out. Big push there by the 26 mid-corner. Almost ran up the hill into the 42. I think he's feeling, well, you just saw on my monitor, the middle finger go up from the 26 to the 42. He's feeling the desperation because the front two, they have been the class of the field. Jake Nichols knows it. His only real fight at this point is the number 7, Eric Wineland.
Absolutely. I'm glad you saw that too on the Zoom call, and you probably see that JT is very much working the wheel very hard now too. He and Seth have probably used up the best of their tires at this point, and it's not looking good for either of them. But I got radio from the moment that the 7 and the 1 came together. Listen in.
Car high, buddy.
Skyoli for you.
I told y'all he's been racing like that.
Hurt me on straightaway.
Oh, trust me, I know. I've been hearing about it, seeing about it in the truck series for the past few weeks.
Oh, JT's blocking Connor.
And for our area fans out there, no surprise that Travis Beckner not talking very highly of the 7. Those two have been sparring in the truck series. Seth was not totally pleased with what happened, considering it was on a straightaway, but listen in to James Scioli and his take on the incident.
Was that Eric?
Yeah, that's Eric.
Maybe.
What happened there? Was that Neko?
Yeah, Neko just grabbed on to hook you guys together.
Very confused.
So the 7 and company attribute it to netcode for the 1 and the 7 coming together. James then said, I don't have this recorded for you, that Jake Nichols was gone, and that he wasn't going to catch him. But
he's catching him.
He's closing the gap. Yeah, you're seeing the same thing I am. I don't know if we get lap times on our leaderboard there, but 10th of a lap here and there. The 7 is closing in on the 73, but he's using up the best of his car to do so, Kyle. I just don't know if, with the loss of momentum and track position, if there is enough time left for the 7 to get back to 73. Enough time with enough car left.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I don't think we're going green to the end still, though. I think tempers at some point have to boil over. There's been a lot of drivers that have been throwing big moves tonight. So I would still say a yellow is on the horizon here potentially. But if it's not, Jake Nichols has really taken command of this race in the latter stages of it. And I think, he's had the least drama surrounding him of the group that's here in this final quartet. Even James Scioli, who in the past, was kind of on the receiving end of most of the drama, he's been dishing it out a little bit this season too, guys. It's a different James Scioli than we've seen in the past. He's willing to lay a fender on you. He's willing to drive in there deep and run you up the hill, and it's paid off for him. Why wouldn't it? He's earned that trust over seasons and seasons and seasons that he's cashing in now at the right time, but he needs a little more time, I think, and maybe another yellow to run down the 73.
I'm sure they're all waiting, all these championship 4 waiting on another yellow. I was watching JT Poole. There's a chance he might be the yellow. He's been driving it so hard off of turn 2, riding up against that wall. He's been like wrecking loose off the corner. So he's playing with inches. You can see right there, again, he's going to be coming off the corner. It was a little bit more composed that time by, but we've seen, again, the handling. It just starts to break away near the end of these runs. We've yet to have green flag pit stops for a reason. That's because the handling starts to get loose, especially when these guys are still battling so close on the racetrack. You can see right there up ahead, Travis Beckner, Michael Curran, and then Scott Shackelford, Dom DeLeo, battle for 9th and 11th, respectively. Whoa! 22 getting sideways, hitting the 88. And they almost wrecked somehow there.
These two have also had a couple run-ins tonight. Oh, big sideways moment for the 88. I just can't believe that with all the little two-car spats we've had tonight, that one of them won't end in disaster late in the race here.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if we don't see anything happen before the end, especially because it's the end of the season. Everyone wants every spot they can get. It's the last race before we go off for a couple of weeks, so guess if you're gonna get it out of your system, better get it out now.
Indeed, as the battle between Kern and Beckner continue for the 9th spot, you see the two of Greg Mitchell ripping the top, trying to close in on this. He wants a top 10 to close out the year, but looking through, they're coming to 20 to go this time by. 33.4 for Nichols, 33.3 for Scioli. 7 slowly closing in on the 73.
Wow, the 24 hanging the right rear quarter panel out. He had a big moment in turn 4, Curhan did. With that 20 laps to go, we're starting that countdown timer. 20 laps left and counting.
It really starting to come down to it here in the battles. Well, at the front it's a little bit quiet, a little bit more action-packed here. Michael Curran, a bump to the back of the 20. Surprised he can go to the inside. I guess the inside lane's pretty much gone for most of these drivers. At least they feel it's gone. He tries to look back to the outside here in 3 and 4, and he's getting so sideways trying to hang on.
Trying to do all he can to compete with the Beckner machine, but to no avail. He'll settle into 10th now, and now looks to fend off the charging 2 of Greg Mitchell for that 10th spot.
Shackelford and DeLeo still side by side. These two still sparring and going at it here. Look at the big move here from Curhan to the inside of Beckner. We'll try the lunge up the inside lane this time. I just don't know if he's got the grip on the bottom here.
He's got an okay amount of grip, but just not enough. What? Oh, JT Poole almost wrecking off at turn 4. Went down onto the apron, trying to save it. I'm sure, Eric, if you got a good view of that.
I did not. I was too busy checking in on the guy. Wow, what a save there for the 26. But I was too busy checking in on Solar Flare Racing. You know, we talk about the intensity's been picking up as the race has gone on. They're still keeping things loose. Listen in to what the radio of the Solar Flare team is like. Listen again.
Still a dump truck back here.
Okay, we'll check that.
Just mirror driving, keeping a gap. That's all. Still taking it pretty easy. Got a lot left in the tank, as I would assume.
You don't need a caution, right?
No.
Because I want one.
Okay, target +2.
So, first of all, Dwayne Culberson, absolutely joking. I expect that everyone in the Area Cup Series would have high integrity. But they were having fun with it. And then, of course, the background voice you hear there is former eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series driver Santiago Tiras is spotting Jake Nichols for the big races, including the championship race tonight. He's helping coach Jake right now as Jake is just starting to open the gap back up. Another 10th. But it's staying steady at half a second.
Yeah, I mean, the 73 has been the quicker of the two cars for the second half of the race. I think at this stage, it looks like Jake's got the car to beat, but 15 laps to go is a long time.
Yeah, and I was going to say, some of these, looking at the way some of these guys are driving back here, I think one of them is going to spin. The 3 was wrecking loose off a turn 4 one time. Cameron Hearn not looking too hot last time through, and GT Poole in the 26, he's been trying to rip that outside lane. I think he's backed off now. I imagine his right rear is shot, hanging it out there. Connor Horn makes an aggressive move on the 3, battle for 3rd.
This is for the podium position as Horn and Hartz battle it out and turn. So really non-WWE here, but Triple H throughout the top 5 behind Nichols and Scioli. Horn on the onboard that you see there. Hartz on the outside now, and Hearn just lurking in the back.
Shackelford and Mitchell and Curhan and DeLeo. This quartet has had a bit of drama in this run. They just hasn't fully strung back out just yet.
Mitchell with a great run. He'll take over 11th place from the 80th Shackelford. As you look a little bit further up, Michael Sturgill fighting with Seth Knoll. Whoa, Cameron Hearn almost just wrecked it off of 4.
Big moment for the 4 of Hearn for Fazekis Motorsports, the highest driver for Fazekis Motorsports in this race. And right behind him, the 1 of Knoll trying to keep the 17 of Sturgill at bay. The 26 of Poole still recovering and trying to get back on a little momentum swing here down the back.
JT's on a bit of a recovery charge here. Kind of cooled his tires off. It was only a 10th off Jake Nichols' lap time last time through. despite all that sliding around, so it's not completely gone. But he definitely flogged that thing for about 25 laps, so I just don't know that it's going to have a lot left in it to go much further than this. 12 laps to go this time through.
I'm really getting more and more nervous every single lap. I see more and more guys sideways off turns 2 and 4, and I'm just wondering when that caution is going to be coming out. I'm sure if Jake Nichols saw how loose some of these drivers are, he'd be having a heart attack.
Man, imagine being in the position of Jake Nichols. I mean, you got a good gap, about half a second between yourself and the Scioli, but just waiting to get to that white flag. You wish that could go quicker, but this is as quick as it gets. So 10 laps away from reaching that white flag. And Kyle, once that white flag waves, there is nothing stopping that 73 from crossing the finish line first, not even a caution flag.
Yep, that white flag is a very important one. 10 laps to go for Jake Nichols in the 2023 Area Cup Series season. It's been an interesting season with a lot of action. A lot of different winners, but the story of the season was that Jake Nichols, while he had won 4 races, it wasn't the 9 that he had last time around. And you could argue that he was a championship favorite with 16 top 10s and 14 top 5s. That's way better than everybody else. But getting it done in certain races, he just couldn't finish what he started like he could last year. But now he's in a position where he's doing just that, and doing it in a calculated and clinical fashion that we've come to associate with Jake Nichols.
Yeah, I was going to say again, it hasn't been dominant in the wins column, but he's been extremely consistent. Average finish of 3.06.
That is a crazy stat.
It really is, and that's really the win stat doesn't do him justice. But 14 top 5, 16 top 10s. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal job by the 73 all year long. That the name of the game is consistency. The wins are important, but you need to be consistent, and the 73 is consistently fast.
Been fast in the long run. In that restart, I mean, that was the best thing that could have happened to Jake Nichols. And a little further back here, Seth Knoll still trying to crack on the door for the top 5 spot from Cameron Hearn, and right behind them you got Sturgill and Poole starting to keep things up for 7th.
Couple little battles formulating around the racetrack, things that would make the 73 very nervous if he could see McCurhan way up the hill in 3 and 4. But laps are ticking down, Finian.
They're ticking down, probably not quick enough as you continue. There's still some spats across the racetrack. JT Poole, Michael Sturgill exchanging position. Looks like Sturgill starting to fall off near the end here, so he'll drop back to 8th. Seth Knoll about to fight with Cameron Hearn for 5th place as he's caught up back to the 4.
Poole's completed the pass for 7th, now trying to close in on Seth Knoll as he's trying to pass Cameron Hearn for the 5th spot, even though it might not be for a top 5. The 26 of JT Poole going to look to try and take 3rd away, but he's run out of laps to do so. Knoll down low on Hearn for the 5th spot. A little wiggle there. Little wiggle there for the one.
Little wiggle from both of them.
Coming to 5 laps to go.
One sends it off. Still trying to get clear of Cameron Hearn. Hearn a little bit loose off the corner. Walks up the hill and an aggressive block by the 1, trying to hold him off. And here comes Cameron Hearn back on the inside, trying to come back at him for 4th place or 5th place again.
And 4th place in the championship, JT Poole encouraging this battle to continue because he's going to try and close in. Only got less than 5 laps to do so, but he still wants to get 3rd in the championship from the one of Knoll. But Seth is just trying to complete the pass on Cameron Hearn. He's been trying to do so over the last handful of laps or so, but that 4 car's been up a fight.
For a top 5 spot, why wouldn't you?
4
laps to go.
Almost touched on the straightaway there. As Knoll goes all the way up against the wall. First time we've seen him go this high in a while.
More battles still trickling throughout the top 10. Right behind that, all the way in the back, you got Curran and Beck, they're fighting for a top 10. Let's stay inside the top 10. Shackelford's fighting for the top 10.
3 laps to go. Counting them down. Jake Nichols has a 7/10 of a second advantage, and it's slowly growing over James Scioli.
That's exactly what he wants to see. You know, he just doesn't want to see another caution flag for another lap and a half till they see the white.
Battle's starting to subside for the time being. It's Curran in 9th. Shackelford's only on the 10th for the time being, as here comes the 73 Nichols crossing the stripe. 2 laps to go. Want to get to the white, Kyle.
Only 1 more lap to get to the white, Finian. Jake has worked real hard for this. Let's not count that out as a factor in this title. Everyone has stepped up their game to match Jake, but Solar Flare Racing and Jake Nichols work really hard each and every week to be the best on the same playing field as everybody else.
Yeah, I was going to say that team has done a fantastic job. Jake Nichols has done a fantastic job all season long to keep that car near the front and perform very well. And he is 1 lap away from sealing the deal.
White flag waving one more time around Homestead for the Area Cup Series in Season 4. And Jake Nichols just 2 turns away, Kyle, once he gets on that backstretch. 2 turns away from winning the championship.
No one can take it from him now. The 2023 season for Jake Nichols has been a game of numbers. This will be his 5th win in 2023 against the quartet of championship competitors. 5 wins, 4 competitors, 3 consecutive titles. Jake Nichols wins the race and the 2023 Area Cup Series title at Homestead Miami Speedway. And with clinical precision, he wins another one. Undefeated in these championship races.
Very, very well earned for the 73. It'll be James Scioli, 2nd in the championship, Seth Knoll, 3rd in the championship, and rounding out your championship for JT Poole. And all of them finished well, all of them in the top 6. Fortunately, none of them able to catch that 73 right at the end.
Always seems to find a way in the late stages of the race. And it seemed like the 7 and the 73 were the class acts of the field, but that last restart there, as soon as Seth Knoll made it 3 wide, it was going to be a rough one for the 7 of James Scioli. So the 73 going to do a little celebration here, I would assume, with his Solar Flare teammates on the front stretch.
And Jake Nichols just knows how to perform. And I think when you look back on what Jake Nichols' strongest asset is as a race car driver, it is his ability to extract speed in the long run. And you look across the variety of talents we had this year, you know, the 7 was also good in the long run, but Jake Nichols was better. And the other 2, I think, arguably were better on the short run pace. But had a lot of green flag racing this season. And there's the Solar Flare team celebrating on the front straightaway in their variety of different colors, but it's purple and blue. With a different manufacturer this season, switching from Toyota to Chevrolet, and it did not stop this team at all. Don't have to win the race to win the title, but Jake Nichols has done it, and at 3 different racetracks: Las Vegas, Nashville, and Homestead. We'll do the Polish victory lap.
And has yet to finish an entire race this season outside the top 10. I don't think I've ever seen that stat happen in any series he's covered. Every single finish in the top 10. He's only missed 2 of them outside the top 5.
Well, we got audio from Jake Nichols on that run to the checkered. Here it is.
Come on, give me the white, give me the white, give me the white, come on.
White flag.
White flag, let's go, baby. Don't worry about me, DeLon. Just see your corner, I won't catch you.
Alright.
Might get a photo op, though.
Good shit, dog. Good shit. We didn't get the team, but
Let's
Bring in some
go,
hardware.
baby.
Bring in some hardware.
Good job, buddy. Let's go.
Good race, boys.
Congrats on the championship.
Let's go.
Oh, I'm still
Hey,
racing.
keep
I'm done.
Good race there, James. You kept me on my toes, man. Great pace.
Well, a champion, third season in a row. Here's a look at your race results. The title fight ends with Jake Nichols on top, James Scioli second, then Seth Knoll and JT Poole the rest of your top four. Connor Horn ended up on the podium as well. This was a hard-fought race. Lots of great racing all around and aggressive as well, Finian. But what was great about it was there wasn't a lot of aggressive driving that resulted in crashes, just a lot of sketchy moments and big slides all over the track.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of drivers, especially near the end. I'm actually kind of amazed we didn't have anyone spin and wreck near the end. Fantastic stuff. Cameron Err, Michael Sturgill, Kyle Shackelford, Michael Curran. They all fighting till the checkered flag, and they all ended up finishing inside the top 10.
Solid runs here for drivers trying to finish on a high note. Skylar Shackelford being one of them. Michael Curran also getting a good top 10 at the end of that. And then just a few spots shy of cracking that top 10. Bryce Senesac and Greg Mitchell both had solid runs towards the very end. Dom DeLeo, Ed Robertson, Travis Beckner 15th. And then you got Tyler Nichols, Garrett Grant, Frankie Barroso, Ben Pierce coming through for a solid 19th after the day he had, and Culberson rounding out the top 20.
And looking down the rest of the field here, drivers that didn't have such good races: Okrezik, Slate, Weishart, Martin, Newbegin, Bell, and Miller out with dramas one way or another. Well, let's talk to our Championship 4. Let us start with the driver that finished fourth on the year, JT Poole. Came in kind of as an underdog as far as race wins were concerned. JT, you gave it everything you had. That last run, you were sliding around, whipping the car left, right, upside down, don't care where it was. You had the thing hung out sideways. Looked like a lot of fun, but I know you would have been better off or happier out front leading the thing as a championship contender. Didn't happen this time, but top 10 and fourth in the title. What were your expectations, and did you fall short of your own tonight?
I don't know. I was just glad to be in the Final Four, but it really hurt my chances with the qualifying run there. That was pretty bad. So I don't know. I feel like we had a shot at the end there when we had that last pit stop, and everyone in the Championship 4 was up there restarting in the first two rows, but just got raced hard and burned my tires up trying to get by people I shouldn't have been worrying about. So yeah, pretty bummed out because I didn't have that many or that high of expectations coming into here, and then at the end it's like, man, I might have a shot at this, and then just unfortunate restart, and yeah, just kind of ruined my shot there. I at least wanted top 3. I really wanted that plaque, but yeah, we'll deal with it, and hopefully I can run next season. But if not, go for the Xfinity and Truck Championship.
What were the big takeaways and learnings from this season? Obviously, you had a pretty successful one, all things considered, but I'm sure there was also some big learnings that you can take forward to next year as well.
Yeah, dude, you just need to finish these races, man. These things are crazy. I think I need to work on qualifying, actually. I've started outside top 10 in way too many races, and I've had to claw my way to the front. Man, I'm really glad of the run we've had, though. I think we got a top 10 in like every race other than Bristol, and we got 11th, and then Darlington we had a pedal disconnect. So we had good speed all year. Just we really need to qualify better and win a race. So still looking for that first win, but yeah, we'll take that and move on next year.
JT Poole, fourth in the championship, sixth in the race. JT, nice job. We'll see you next season.
Yep, thank you, and thank you to Sunny South Raceway and all the guys at Solid Rock. I worked with them this season, so it was fun working with them. And thank you guys for all the coverage all year in the area and all the admins, all y'all do. So thank you guys.
Appreciate it, JT. We'll see you later.
Yep.
And Seth Knoll, third in the championship. He gave it everything he could. Seth, you were fun to watch tonight. That's you were my pick to win, and for a moment there I thought you had it. It just slipped through your fingers. 3 wins on the season though, and a third in the championship. I'd say that's a positive year regardless, and I know you're probably disappointed that you couldn't kind of rack up a championship, but I think Nichols and Scioli had a pretty stout fight. So your thoughts on your title, or I guess coming up just shy, your thoughts on the season?
In all honesty, the goal tonight was third. So mission accomplished. I know those two are going to have good pace on me. Just the way this track drives isn't my style compared to like how Chicagoland and Vegas were, that more so fit how I like to drive. So in all honesty, that's where we wanted to finish. Now I wanted to finish third. There was that incident on the backstretch where I kind of got turned into 3. That kind of cost us a couple spots, and then we just couldn't get back to Connor and Ryan, and then we had to pass Cam, and we were racing with Sturgill quite a bit tonight. Rough racing, but I mean, we got what we wanted. We got the plaque. That was the goal.
Well, Seth, let's say this. He had a phenomenal season, highlighted, I'm sure, by the Area 500. So, hey, congratulations on a job well done this year. Front running, especially in the playoffs when push came to shove. So, congratulations, and that is a great way to end things out. Not even with a title, but just with the positive momentum and the things you learned this season. Congrats. We look forward to seeing you again next time out.
All right, appreciate it. I'm going to thank Bally all this time. All right. We're going to thank Kyle Heyer. I apologize if I botch any of his name.
You got it.
Hunter Sleppy, Finian. I'm not going to try and pronounce your last name. Eric Wineland. And then I got to thank the sponsors that helped us out this season and set everything up. Kalusha Pines sponsoring Travis all season. Thompson's Pipe Group sponsoring Dean Thompson. Rick's Hot Sauce on the side of the car again. Celsius sponsoring us this season. Area Shop sponsoring Garrett Grant. I got to thank Black Buffalo, Holston River Machine, BG Creative, Huckett Films, and I got to appreciate the boys at Miller helping us get started last season. We struggled last season. We had a nice solid P3 season this season.
Great work, Seth. We'll see you next season. Congratulations.
I appreciate it, boys. Have a good one.
You too. And James Scioli, second in the championship and 5 wins on the season, tied with Jake Nichols. This was a really epic fight between you and the 73. And I think for most of the season, just based on wins, you were the favorite. But Jake just had more top 5s, more top 10s, and long-run pace that was really hard to beat. What did you need to take away that title and knock the 73 off the trio of championships that he's earned?
Yeah, I just needed the clean air there on that last restart. Just had a slow pit stop. iRacing gave me a 14.0. Jake, I think, had a 13.5. So came off the pit second, and then I knew when it was JT and Seth behind me, second's the hardest spot to restart from. I just knew that they were going to run hard, which obviously they have the right to. Seth got all the way to the lead. Just knew Jake and I had the long run pace, so just kind of sucked to not be able to kind of control that. And then Seth and I kind of got net coded together and lost a bunch of time there, had to try and get it all back. So all in all, it was a good season. Definitely sucks to finish second at the end of it, especially after how good we were. And I think I was a little bit better than Jake maybe on the long run. I kind of figured something out on that second to last run, but we had some guys in the back messing with each other. So yeah, all in all, it was a good season. Congrats to Jake and everybody in the championship 4. I think we put on a great race. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. And big thanks to you guys for capturing moments like this.
It was a great race, James. It was super fun to watch. Got pretty spicy everywhere in the field tonight, but congratulations. Second place, 5 wins on the season, tied for most. Great work, and we'll see you around. And you got 2 more championships to try to win this week. It's going to be a busy week for you.
Yeah, week's just getting started. I also want to give a huge shout out to Lucky Ducks for bringing me on this season. We won the team championship in my first season with them, so just really happy about that. Big thanks to Doug, Cedric, and Sturgill as well for helping me out this race and trying to help me secure the driver championship as well. And huge shout out to Roasted Gems Coffee, No Kid Hungry, Ology Brewing, and RS Button Boxes for being on the car. And we'll try and do one spot better tomorrow.
James Scioli, second in the race and in the championship.
Thanks, guys.
Jake Nichols, 3rd consecutive championship and ties James Scioli for 5 wins on the season. And I'm sure you heard us all season long going, what's up with Jake Nichols? He's not winning like he used to. But 5 wins is still an incredibly respectable number, respectable enough to be tied for most. Jake, this season, more top 5s than everyone else, more top 10s than everyone else, but still somehow it felt like you were coming in not as an underdog, but maybe not as the overall favorite. But then you go out there and just dominate the second half of that race and win decisively. Congratulations on that, and perhaps it's no surprise to see you win with clinical precision. Congratulations. Take us through your night and your season. It got fierce at times with that number 7.
Oh yeah, it got fierce with a lot of people. It's great seeing the competition the way it is. Obviously, the guys that were here in season 2 have all, for most part, picked it up. But then you have also the additions that we've had over the 2 seasons, or 3 technically. And it was, I mean, it was tough. I knew Dirty Air would kind of play a little bit. It was kind of a bottom feeder tonight. So you kind of wanted to have the lead. I think you could pass if you had the right situation. I think I passed James once, but for the lead there under green. But everything kind of played out kind of perfect. I wish it would have went green longer, like green flag runs. But I felt once we got past 25 or 30, I could beat James. He was tight though. I mean, he was right on me pace-wise. I'd ask my crew chief, Santiago Gutierrez, every few laps or every lap with the last 10 laps, lap time, just let me know what he's hitting. But I mean, this season was great. Perfect top 10 ratio, or average for us, I should say. We haven't finished outside the top 10 once this season. That's honestly incredible. You guys mentioned something last week on the broadcast about this not being like, you know, the perfect season for me, but in terms of just finishing races and just being consistent, it was damn near perfect. I mean, it was pretty good. Obviously, we didn't win as much as we wanted to, but when you have this tough competition, you know, a second, a third, fourth is great, especially when you're racing for points. And obviously, we went into the playoffs #1 seed through and through, and that goes to, you know, with those top 10s and top 5s just racking up. It helped us a lot and gave us a barrier. Let me just be patient during the playoffs, didn't really force anything, and kind of saved it up for here. I felt like, you know, I said trying to save the win up for this race. Won last week, and obviously did the same tonight. But these guys are tough. It's great competition. Obviously, there's a few bumps in the road with a few incidents tonight and the past few weeks, but overall, this league's awesome. Hopefully, I should be back next season. I want to be back next season. So we'll see how that plays out. But either way, thanks to everyone at Area, everyone here at SimTV for putting on amazing broadcasts of these great races. Every driver, admin, we put on great shows, I feel like, and hopefully that continues to next season, no matter who's here. You know, hopefully we have a good time and we put on some great shows in the future.
Well, the racing was great. The show was great. Jake Nichols, you were great. Third consecutive title at 3 different racetracks, so you have to be super proud of that and your team for all of that success. Congratulations. Let it soak in, and we'll see what's next for you in the coming seasons. Congratulations again.
Thank you, sir.
All right, guys, wrapping things up from the 2023 Area Cup Series season. Oh, boy, what a year it was. I think this was the best championship yet. I mean, it came down to it. The top 4, all in the top 5 in the closing 50 or so laps. And I think the best driver won. I mean, if you look at the stats, statistically, he had it in the bag. And I guess we were comparing him to previous seasons when he just won all the races, but consistency, even in an elimination format like this, Eric Wineland, is key.
I wish you would have put my camera on the broadcast a little bit sooner. As soon as you said stats, I was smiling ear to ear because I told you at the top of the show, the stats say Jake Nichols was going to win the championship. My gut was wrong. I had James Scioli to try to drive this one home, but man, that final restart, how intense it was, even with 30 to go, really played out the course of the rest of the race with the bottom 3 battling and the 73 sailing off in the sunset. Finian, what an incredible drive from Jake Nichols. What an incredible season, and I can't wait to see what he does in season 5 if he returns.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a phenomenal job from him. Again, the win columns don't really do his season justice. Just really, really consistently fast week in, week out. It wasn't dominating by any means, especially compared to last season, but more than enough to take and deserve the title this season.
Absolutely, Eric. You were right about that. Numbers don't lie. Stats don't lie. And I went with my gut feeling of Jake Nichols being the champion, and so far we're 1 of 1 on the season, but we'll see if we can make it 2 for 2 or 3 for 3 even. I mean, what a phenomenal race that Homestead did. Why are we going to Phoenix? I don't care if they add $200 million in renovations to the track. The racing sucks on short tracks. Mile and a halves are the cream of the crop of the Cup Series nowadays, and tonight proves that even in the sim, Area can just ball out What a phenomenal race, Kyle. I am so pumped for Season 5 already.
And we've not done deciding champions yet. Tomorrow night, starting at 8:40 Eastern, the Area Truck Series goes racing for their season finale. Also here at Homestead, and then Thursday, August 24th, that's this week, the Area Florida State Builders Pro Series finishes out their season at Homestead Miami as well. 3 titles left to decide. 1 is done. 2 more to go on Sim TV. Kyle Heyer, Vinny DeCuna, Hunter Slapping, and Eric Wineland bringing you the action. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Area Truck Series finale. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for a great season here on Sim TV.